Well, time
he wanted to protect. Hey, welcome to Off Topic. I'm Michael Jones. We got Lindsay. We got Trevor banging his daggone knee. Has a knee bang. And we got Joe pushing the table right in front of this man's knee.
Yeah, he moved it at the last second. I'm glad someone saw it.
Yo, you can't be, okay, dude, you're gonna move the little piece of wood and the wobble's gonna come back and I'm gonna get pissed at you.
I'm going to go ahead and let everyone know at the top of this episode, be sure to rewind the YouTube video or the RT.com video when you're done streaming it for the next viewer, okay?
What?
I'm out here sharing the message, classical message. Dude. It is, okay? I'm tired of continue watching from here.
Are you the guy
Maybe I haven't seen it. Maybe I'm sharing my
Are you the guy from Alaska?
Go on.
Isn't that like the one Blockbuster? Supposed to be
is that where it is? I don't know where it is.
I think so.
I just know that they started shitposting.
You fucked up this whole table.
No, I haven't. It's
no. I mean, like broadcast spends 3.5 hours fixing it. It's so insulting to them that you went, I fixed it.
Fixed.
Takes them forever.
Making micro adjustments to the camera. There it is.
Just come and go.
Thank you.
Okay.
Yeah. After barreling in here 45 seconds ago, you start wrecking the set.
It was more than 45 seconds ago.
Could have been a minute, sure.
No, I got here at 3:01.
Great. When does the podcast start? 3. Stream. Live.
3.
No, about 3:04. But it's supposed to be 3, okay?
That was a trick question is what that was.
Yeah. No, it was a normal question, and he just got it wrong. Anyway.
Well, let's be kind. Rewind time. Let's go back. Don't film the video you just did. It went well. Yeah,
it went well. We'll have to do another part because we got like halfway through a chapter.
Did you guys stop of your own accord, or did Jaren stop you?
No,
because I tasked him to do so. If you got out of line,
no,
he was letting it go.
Stopped on our.
Great.
I kept looking and going, I'm getting anxious.
Oh, I told him. I said I need 2 of these chuckleheads for Off Topic because it was you 2 and Alfredo.
Yeah.
Which is funny because I don't want to spoil anything, but Alfredo, right from the get-go, it was like, oh, I could get messy. And Alfredo kept going, I gotta do stuff. It's like, you're the one that's not on camera after this.
I gotta do stuff.
It's like, it's the middle of the day. I'm gonna have to take a picture of myself.
You want to talk about it? Oh, we don't have to get into the details of it, but I think I'm super excited for it. So
super?
Well, mild.
Calm down.
Milk toast.
Mildly.
Milk toast is dog shit. You took a nosedive to milk toast.
Where do you want to go?
I don't know. You could just say what it was.
Just talk about it for 10 minutes without saying anything about it, just to piss people off.
A real Jack maneuver.
We're trying a new format with horror games, and you get punished if you get scared.
Yeah.
So it's pretty fun. It was me, Trevor, and Alfredo in this one.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
And Alfredo's a little baby when it comes to scary games. But it didn't really turn out how I thought it would.
It was too tough.
It's really interesting. Well, this chapter is a slow burn, so we got the first half, and then the next half it seems like it's picking up. So we'll have to do 2 parts.
So maybe don't do it right before Off Topic.
I see. Well, they had to consult
the live show
Joe.
You have to leave for.
Joe was crying.
I guess I could have asked somebody else. I had no idea what the hell you were doing. The thing that you were doing was on the calendar. People kept asking me, what's this thing you're in? And I kept saying, I'm not in it. Stop asking me. And then there was a point. You weren't there. I walked over there. And I'll say it was a bit of a setup going on. It was by the couch, where we do the couch videos. And I walk over to Jaren, and I'm like, "Hey, so like, what is this?" He's like, "Oh, I'm doing the thing." I'm like, "Right, but like specifically, like, what's the concept here? I just keep hearing about it, but I don't know exactly what you're doing." And he was like, "Oh, I'm not sure. I think like Alfredo's playing. He probably knows more." I'm like, "Oh," and it's Jaren, Alfredo, and Larry all standing right there, and they're all doing shit, like getting ready. Yeah. And Alfredo's like, I don't really know. I'm just in it. This is like, Larry
as a person.
Larry probably knows more than me. Who was the most setting up? If I had to guess, it was Larry's thing because he was setting up for it all morning.
He was
right?
the producer.
Right.
He was the producer.
Oh, so then I'm like, so Larry, tell me what is this then? He's like, oh, I don't really know. This is Joe's thing. I was like, fuck you, fuck you. And then Trevor walks over and is like, hey, so I'm like, don't ask him. They don't fucking know anything. Joe's the only one that knows anything, and he's not here. 3 fucking people stay go, ask him.
I know exactly what it was. I was going to ask, like, how do we want to intro this? How do we want to let the audience know what this is?
I could not have been more calm. And what do you know? Also not, okay. And I'm just like, Larry, you've been making noise over here for 3 hours today. Like, the second I got in, you were making noise, getting ready for this video. And he's like, I don't know what's going on. Yeah, that upset me, and you were nowhere to be found.
It's in Bend, Oregon, the last block.
Yeah. Oh, it's in Oregon.
Chat's always coming through. It's essentially a
chat's always coming through, but also sometimes they just make shit up.
That's true.
And then you immediately give them credit like that, and then 10 more people
That's what
go,
I do.
that
There's
person
your
lied to
credit.
you.
Run
And
away
then-
with it.
Yeah. Then the credit
You
turns to
empower them.
ash in their mouth like sand.
I give them what little credit they deserve. And there you go. Whether
Just
or not it's
enough.
warranted,
What if they don't
yeah.
deserve any credit?
I
That's
give
where the
extra,
sand
too.
comes in.
Yeah. I'm the teacher that gives extra credit, and I'm like, hey, you're having a bad day. Here's 5 points.
Wow, great.
fine.
And now
That's okay.
you're the reason
Inflation
why
in-
I'm so dumb.
Your inflation in your
Teachers like
classroom.
you.
Hold on, we have no support. There's no budget. I'm going to give out A's left and right.
Right,
I'm
great. This'll I mean, what you do is you say,
Start.
this'll teach them
Yeah, that's right. That's
by
right.
not teaching
I'll
them.
teach the government.
This'll teach, yeah. Enjoy the next generation, assholes.
Fuck you.
I didn't teach these kids shit.
They all got A's.
Man,
10 years down the road, I got +5 in kindergarten for this. I'm right.
It's true. Wait, you're describing a gifted child. I too was in the gifted program, and once you hit middle school, they're like, "That's nice. Okay, you don't know anything, do you?" You're like, "Nope, not at all. Thank you, appreciate it."
No.
Come on,
Do you
now.
have,
Not
do you
even
have any
to
like
silence a phone.
preconceived
Hell no.
notions as a child
shit
that
going
you
on.
just assumed and then you thought were correct that once hitting grown-up age, like an embarrassing age, you went, oh, that's not that. That's not how that works.
I don't think so.
Really?
At an embarrassing age?
Right, like something that you conceived of in your head as
And then
true
you
as a
turn, like,
5-year-old,
20
and then you
Well,
believed
I
it
think it's
until you were,
more.
like,
I think it's not more of a thing. I assume what you're saying. Not like you believe actively every day, but you're like got it locked in and it's back there.
Yeah.
And then one day someone points it out and you go, "Holy shit! How
Right.
have I not thought of that 12 years
Yeah,
ago?
that childhood
I'm a grown
propaganda
up."
stuff. you
Yeah.
know? Like
Yeah.
carrots for the eyes.
Right.
Silliness.
Well, until I saw Shoot 'Em Up.
Explain.
Oh well, it's Clive Owen running around trying to save a baby. And a prostitute.
And he's like,
and
he's
oh,
beginning to fade.
different
Where's my carrots?
yeah, no, he literally bites carrots and then his vision goes, he can see better.
Jesus.
He can like see the hair on people's pants. Then they're like, you had the dog.
It's like-
You're the traitor.
It's like Limitless, except
Kind of.
carrots.
It's kind of like
I'm gonna go
it's
home
kind
and
of
have
like
carrots and be like,
Limitless and
genius.
Cranked.
NZC.
Yeah,
It's like Cranked a lot. That movie rules. Having seen it one time in theaters when it came out, probably in 2008.
Is it a trilogy now?
2008. No. I mean, Shoot 'Em Up.
Oh.
With Clive Owen. And Cranked, I think they only did 2. Fun fact, Glenn Howerton, Dennis, from Sunny, is in the first one. He just has like a small role. He's like a doctor. And then in the second one, there's a small cameo where he's like in therapy about the events that transpired of the first one, where he's traumatized because he was like everybody murdered around him. And then the therapist is like encouraging him. He's like, I can do it. He stands up and he gets shot and dies.
Well,
And there he goes.
he ended on a high note though.
Yeah, I don't know what he's doing now though.
Glenn Howerton, I learned like recently, was the runner-up to become Star-Lord. That
Was he
would be-
really?
Serious?
Yeah, that would
Wow.
be really hard to picture, but he's an amazing
Yeah.
actor. Let me say that. Good comedic timing
Yeah.
and everything. I could definitely see him
But here's the
mechanically
thing,
doing it.
but also-
but he's Dennis in my mind.
Yeah, but he also had
True.
his body was chiseled by the gods themselves.
That's true. If Chris Pratt can go from Parks and Rec early days Chris Pratt to then Star-Lord, I think Glenn Howerton can do
I mean,
it.
Glenn
too.
Howerton doesn't
Here's
have
the
to do
thing.
anything.
Here's
Well,
the
I'm
He's
just
already
saying,
there.
I'm not
Hold
saying
on. He's
already
physically,
there.
I'm also saying from character to now
Yes,
hero.
right. Physically,
Goofball, the hero.
he's perfection. Like you just
Right.
said,
Well,
that's fine.
Star Wars
He's
still
there.
like-
But I think the base
keep
of, I'm not
sliding
saying
down
Chris
that
Pratt as a person, no, come from the internet. I'm talking about Chris Pratt, like as an actor.
Yes.
I feel like he has a base of warmth. That's it. He's welcoming
Hmm.
overall. It can be like,
Oh, I thought you were gonna say he looks
warm.
hot.
It
He
can
looks
be-
a little
no.
warm. He looks a little pink.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Everybody's saying,
Get a fan
he does,
over there.
It does look a little pink
I am
sometimes.
too. I understand that. That's
What if
natural.
Ken's
This is
wrong?
the
I
blood
don't
flow.
tan,
Yeah.
I pink.
It's true.
That would have been
He can get a fan. It's okay.
and his dick was out.
He does like to be naked.
Yeah.
He's just running around with a merkin.
He was a doctor.
I don't judge
Yeah.
Like not.
Well, he still is.
But I don't think he practices.
By
But not
label.
like oh, I was gonna be a doctor and
Like
I
he
quit.
was a doctor.
became a doctor and was still like, I'll take these auditions though.
Yeah.
And then it was like, hey, want to be in the trunk with your dick out?
Fuck it.
And it was like, I think that was his big break was the Hangover.
With Hangover.
Yeah.
And then in Hangover 2, they also show his dick, but a monkey is tasting it.
I don't remember
Yeah,
that.
I saw a
like-
stand-up. Like,
And then
He
Zach
thought it was something
Galifianakis
else.
fucking tastes like shiitake.
He thought
he thought it was a mushroom.
It was like an acorn resting on a carpet, and so they're pretending it's something else. Like maybe this is a fruit or a nut or something, and so it's so close up you can't tell. And then when it really pulls out, you're like, oh, okay.
This makes me think of the news story not too long ago where it was, I don't remember which country it was, but there was someone who was reporting on a rare type of mushroom or fungus they found. And then like after the whole initial report, some scientists came over to like analyze it and they're like, this is like a pocket pussy, basically. Like what you've discovered here.
Ancient?
Yes.
Was it just
Lord
it just
hells.
molded over out in the wild?
It was gross. Yeah, it was like definitely someone left it out.
Well,
there.
yeah,
It's like,
you gotta
forgot
clean
about
it.
it. It was
You
uncovered.
never want to
yeah.
see, by the way,
It's just seasoning.
one of those fleshlights without the shell. You know what I mean? Like a
Just in the
snail
wild?
in the slug mode.
Yeah.
And it's just
You're saying it needs. You're
was in
saying
slug mode.
it
needs
needs
the structure.
it needs its carapace.
it needs,
slug mode.
it needs that flashlight,
Yeah.
like the terrible, like, don't worry, Mom and Dad, it's just an actual flashlight, right? Because it has the functioning piece sometimes.
Yeah, it looks just like one.
And then you open up the
of course, that's what I'm
vagina
saying. It
DNA.
doesn't actually look like
Mr.
one, but it
Krabs
needs
after
that.
he molted.
Yeah, you're not wrong.
Yeah.
You're not wrong.
Yeah.
His color also reminds
Pull up
me
the
of
video
that.
though. I think the best part about that was in the interview or the report where they're talking about this rare mushroom. They have it like in a kiddie pool, like because they're trying to like moisten it up to
So was it
study
actually a mushroom?
No, it was actually a pocket pussy
Okay.
again.
But I'm
they're,
saying,
like, in the moment
was
of
it
the report.
like an old one, like it was just straight up like a
I
new
don't know
one
when
and
it
just
was
got
made,
grody?
but
I'm
it
saying
looks
it's from
gross.
our time.
Yes.
It's not like an ancient.
It was not from
like
the
a
future nor
caveman
the
was
past.
fucking it.
Yeah, no.
They just thought it was, and they're like, "Oh, this is like a dirty
It
fuck
was
hole.
not the pocket pussy.
This
of
is
the
a dirty
past.
rubber fuck hole we found. We have been
Basically.
touching it, and Phil's like, I put it in my mouth. Put
Damn it,
it in
Phil.
my mouth.
My father's father used this before him.
We're talking
Anyway,
about
please,
that
continue.
from Blue Mountain State is what you're referencing.
I mean, that
Pocket
literally, if you
pussy?
weren't referencing it, that's literally what. That's literally what he says. He's like, the dad gave me this. He's got a little. It's like it's
forgot
tiny
about that
too.
movie, dude, or show.
Yeah,
movie.
it's tiny. It's like a little tiny one. He fucks it, and he's like, my dad gave me this.
It's such a weird.
Dude, Alan
story
Richardson
of
was
Phil.
unhinged. As that
It
kid.
was
Yeah.
great. That's what made me love him. So when I heard he was in Laser Team, I was like, holy shit,
Yeah.
Dad from Blue Mountain
Yeah.
State. Oh my god.
Yeah.
Holy crap.
Anyway.
Lindsay only came to set the days he was there.
It's
which was
true.
weird.
Same. But so they stored this medieval mushroom in a kiddie pool.
Yeah.
How does the tale unfold from there?
From my understanding, and internet, please help me out here with cross-referencing.
And they
for
are
science.
never lying in the
As you
chat.
They're
will, yeah.
worthless.
Always faithful and true. I believe it was literally just the report itself, and they're like, oh, hey, like, check it out, this mushroom. And then they had a secondary report where someone voiced over, like, okay, so you saw that report from earlier? I'm sorry about that. That was just a pussy. Anyways, like,
I love it. They have to
let's.
cover it up.
Anywho, more at
did
5.
it come back later, or is it voiceover? Like, was it during the report? Because they could have just not aired it. If they found out when they were airing it,
I think they
could have
already
just not aired it.
I'm pretty sure they already aired it.
Oh,
The
this is like-
excitement of like,
I just
oh,
like
it's
the
so
idea of
rare.
like, and that's the end of this bit. What's that? Oh, it's a fuck hole. Oops, they could have just not aired the whole thing.
Right.
You know it.
But they missed it by a
Did
minute.
someone use it after?
Absolutely.
They cleaned it up?
For sure. Oh, they left it dirty.
Oh, they left it dirty?
Scraped it off.
Yeah, they wanted to take it for a ride.
Fresh
Like
from the
cheese.
earth.
Just
Yeah.
get rid of the filthy outside, and it's the good
Debris.
inside that matters.
The debris.
Yeah, oh, the debris. Oh, nasty.
Come on now.
Well, speaking of things that end up on the news and things that you shouldn't laugh at.
I thought you were gonna say, thinking about fuckholes, but. No.
Well, maybe.
They might
Maybe
connect.
I am. Maybe I always am. No, there was that news report where, akin to where immediately after it happens, they try to walk it back because they're like, oh, it's live, so things happen, but oh my God, let's move on. There was this is old now, but where, there was someone who had been struck by lightning, I think, twice now in her life, so they wanted to cut.
I showed you this.
Yeah,
Sorry,
I
go
mean,
ahead.
you might have. They wanted to cut over to her, like, speaking, like,
seen
a
this.
talking, whether it's a talking head or an interview, a pre-roll, whatever. It cuts over to them, but the live feed is glitching. And so it's like basically repeating between two frames where it goes, it's like her in two different poses, like this. And it goes, da-da-da-da-da-da-da. And it comes back and he goes, well, obviously, that's not what she sounds like. She's fine.
It looked
We had
like
a
she was
glitch.
being struck by lightning as they were talking. And it was like an audio, like.
Thankfully, she's fine,
Yeah.
so it's okay.
Yeah, I remember that.
Oh
He
my
goes,
God.
obviously, that's not how it was.
It's just like, oh
my God.
dang, that's unfortunate. Especially, because it does look like one being electrocuted, right? Especially, you're like, and this is a woman that survived 2 lightning strikes. Let's go see how she's doing. I'm so sorry. That's not how that was supposed to happen.
That's
Moving
my
on.
favorite. Coming from like a heavy news heavy background before coming to a place like RT, and that's
Yeah.
why I gravitated toward this place. Like, you have fun, you
It's
can
the
see
news.
stuff like that, but we planned it. I love when stuff like that isn't planned in the news. And I've been there physically for some stuff like that, where like you get the wrong script or like I don't know, the camera comes in wrong.
I think you're the only one that loves that when that happens.
When something goes horribly awry.
Yeah, I feel like that's everyone's worst nightmare in that
Explains
field.
a lot.
Well, Lindsay
Of
is
like the wrong
with the
script
viewer.
or like.
It's true.
Lindsay's like, no, but the viewer's gonna love this.
I like that.
The marketability.
Yeah.
I don't think the anchor can get away with like, man, that was really fucked up. Good thing we fuck it up all the time anyway, because we say that all the time. It's like, oh man, everything fell apart. That's fine, par for the course.
Right.
I don't think anchors are looking for that.
No.
What a shit show that was.
There's a classic example. I love Auto-Tune the News. I don't know if y'all have watched that on YouTube.
Yes.
A phenomenal channel. Great stuff.
What is their name again? Like,
Because I'm blanking right now too. Of course, they are some of their siblings.
it's like
yeah.
Shmo Yoho.
Yeah, Shmo Yoho. That's it.
Is that it?
Accidentally Yo.
Smo Yoho, something like that.
Yeah. So they had this one segment that they did in like Auto-Tune the News 3 or 4, where it was a classic case of like, we don't have the story, but we want to update the audience and keep them watching. We have to make sure they stay on this channel or our stream, whatever it is.
Right.
So they just kind of like back and forth with the reporter on field and then the anchor who's in studio. And they're like, oh, hey, so what's going on over there, Barbara? And like, not much, John. Just we're going to let you know whenever we get some news up, when we get an update. But John, how's it back on the studio? Like, it's great, Barbara. We're doing great over here. But just let us know when you get those
vamping.
updates. I'm like, am I John Travolta over here? Like, eh?
It's just
Really
gesturing
funny.
like no one's
No one?
got any material.
Really funny.
Dude, I've been watching only just
There's a lot in the edit that makes it really funny. That's hard to articulate.
convey, yeah.
Lindsay's just going, it's funny. It is funny. It is funny. I've seen it.
I just like the idea of like improv
Mostly the
scrambling.
auto-tuning. It's a big part of it.
Wait, hold on, Lindsay. Again,
the different
next time with more auto.
the different people that they're actually cutting to, not the same person.
Again, even the concept, auto-tune aside, it's funny to me where they're like, shit, vamp, I don't know, just toss it to Joe and Joe will toss it back to me for the next 45
I love
fucking
that.
minutes.
It's like watching a car crash, but in slow motion and no one gets hurt.
Dude,
Hardcore.
when they fucking news people cut to someone like in the middle of a storm, like a natural disaster,
Yeah.
and it's like really quiet in the ink room. Let's go over here for updates, and it cuts over someone. Yeah, we're in the middle of it now.
Stop sign.
So it's like, because it fucking hits them in the face. It's like, ooh, I feel so bad for you, but it's just like,
Yeah.
it's so quiet, and then it gets super loud and crazy.
I've been watching. This will segue back to news. Don't worry, we won't leave the news.
Thank
But I've been watching What We Do in the Shadows. I've only watched a few episodes now, but
Good time, boy.
it's good so far. I'm enjoying
Not that
it.
far yet. He just said he watched a couple episodes.
kind of
That's
show
like
is
season 3.
But there's
Doing
the
the
energy
Shadows
vampire.
it's a like mockumentary like Office, but about vampires essentially. Is the super short version.
Yes. Cool.
And other creatures.
Directed by,
And,
is it part or produced by Taki?
It was a movie that was starring and directed by Taika Waititi.
Now Jermaine
Like a
Clement
lot
is
before he
producing this one?
blew up.
I knew he was in it.
But they both like. I think they both worked on it, but they both like signed off on the TV show because it was like way after the movie came out, and people were really like, "Oh wow, here comes another American show that's gonna be a piece of shit based on like because they're from New Zealand."
Yep.
And the show is fucking fantastic.
Yeah.
It like
Should I watch
absolutely.
the movie first then?
I mean, you should watch it.
Yeah,
There's
I
not like.
I thought the movie
not
like came after.
there-
I just don't.
No,
remember.
there like because they make cameos in the show. I don't know how far you are,
Just a
Wellington
few of them are in it
Paranormal.
right now.
but like I mean like.
Main Dracula or main vampire just rolled up.
Right. None of those are no, but I mean like specifically like Taika Waititi's character.
Yeah.
Like he's like a cameo in like a later episode. You're like, whoa.
Yeah.
But
I'm waiting for Jermaine.
It's great.
Big Flight of the Conchords fan.
It's
Been watching
the
a lot of,
show's
like,
fantastic.
But yeah, anyway, there's a type of vampire in that show. Fucking love this. An energy vampire. And so what he does is he just like drolls and talks. He's basically beige if it became alive. And so
he was
like,
on The Office
good
too, by the
description.
way.
he was.
He was, like, in the last
He was in
season
the
of The
warehouse,
Office,
and he
or,
had
like,
a.
the second to last
The way he
season.
got hired was because he had a license for a forklift, but he also like had all these odd things about him where like he needed such unique circumstances. But anyway, his character, I don't know the name of that actor, but I just wanted to like establish him. He did a thing where he would pretend to be like a yo-yo expert and get onto a morning show, like a local morning show. And so they would be like, we have a local like yo-yo enthusiast expert gonna come on and he's gonna show us some of his fantastic tricks. And it's him in that he's very good at that kind of humdrum, almost dull character. Very
Almost dull.
Well, I don't want to insult him as a person, but it's his character.
No, yeah,
My favorite
that's
kind of
great.
humor.
It's very dry.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
straight man, but the joke is playing out in front of you.
Yes.
It's like no time for jokes, guys.
It's
Be
like-
serious.
I love that
It's like
cringe humor there.
it's like hiding as a straight man.
Yes.
It's not. It's pure chaos.
Yes. but
it's just veiled.
But it's Nathan Fielder level of like the chaos is also heavily contained that you don't expect it. Anyway, so he's on there and he's like, well, yes, like I've been practicing for many years, and he's like telling the story, and I think it was him, but anyway, someone did this, and he's going through and he's like showing like all these tricks that are just failing. He's trying to do the walk the dog where it rolls down the floor. And then I think the most intricate trick he tried to do is just the simple one where you grab the string and then you do the cradle where it swings through. And yeah, anyway, that without walking through the entire clip, it was just a car crash of just, oh, this is awesome. Watching the news anchors really try to keep it together, keep it on track, and him doing everything he can to just be like, oh,
I've tricked you.
Dude,
I'm just here.
I can just
This is
hear
awesome.
the anchors too going like, oh, wow, wow, we got one fell.
right.
One fell there. That's okay, though. He'll get it.
It kind of highlights just how fake you almost have to be. And I'm like, just show your candor. It's the news. True. Just be a real person.
Absolutely.
I want to watch real people. Just be like, wow, this
Not very good.
This is
It's not very good.
5 years, you said.
I'm gonna be honest.
Of practice. Well, you know.
Yeah, he's great because he's like in What We Do in the Shadows, like Trevor said, he's an energy vampire. Most vampires, they're just like, oh, they drink blood, but he drinks your energy. So he just like he's just like annoying isn't the word. He's just like an exhausting, dull like nerd at the office, where he'll be like, oh hi, did you read that report I sent you? Why don't you take a look at it? And they're like, oh, I'll get to it later. And he's like, I think you should maybe get to it now.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm not feeling good. And it's just like where people are like, people always start yawning around him, like, and he'll kind of be like,
He looks at the camera and his eyes like do the
like
vampire
sucks the
thing.
life out of
He's
people.
like, and then he just walks off.
Like you watch people struggle to get off the couch, and then he'll start talking to them again. They're like, no.
Yeah, he like just stays with them.
Did you? So like, how many episodes have you actually watched?
Like 2, maybe 3.
Okay,
So not
there
very much.
is. I don't know if it happens real early. It's in season 1, so you may have watched it or not yet. But there's an episode basically where he has like an adversary. That was
really?
fucking good.
Oh, that sounds awesome. I think. Oh wait.
It's a
Hold
good
on. What did he call it? There was a town thing that they wanted to go to because Dracula, essentially, I don't know if that's his name. The main vampire comes in. He goes, "You haven't conquered the states yet."
No, he's just some old fuck.
So they go to.
He's just some old dude.
Okay, they go to like a local like municipal meeting, a town hall, and he goes, "Hold on a second, guys. It's time for me to mass feed." And he just goes up there and just dulls the whole room down. And he goes, I mean, it's to the extent of like just stream of consciousness. As soon as he's on a thread, he'll go into the history of that thing. So if it's like, my chair's kind of loose, I could really use some help. Do you have a screw? Do you know how screws were invented? Like,
yeah, like he doesn't even stop, and people are just like,
yeah.
Yes. It's the embodiment.
It's a very funny show.
It's so
It's very well written.
Yeah.
I mean, just the concept is funny.
Yes.
Of like Office meets vampires.
Yeah.
But like the show is consistently funny for something they could have easily ruined after a successful film.
That character specifically reminds me of the meme that's been going around where it's like, yes, queen, give us nothing. I'm like, yeah, literally, like he's giving nothing, but I love that that's like his character and his role. And I'm like, what, the opposite of the Chris Pratt warmth that I discussed earlier. It's like, I can't imagine that audition where he came in and was like, hello.
Where do they live? Did they live in New York? Where do they live? Is it New York? Where do they live?
I don't remember.
It's like somewhere around water. Like it's either like
I'll look it up.
I think it's in New York. I think it's like Staten Island or something like that. But yeah, they're all like from various parts of the world, like a lot of like European and stuff like that. And like so this like super old vampire comes up and he's just like, haven't you taken over yet?
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
Well, it's harder than you can imagine. But they're all just like, they're basically just like annoying housemates that just complain about each other.
Yeah.
Is it Canada? Because it was the production locations were Ontario and Toronto.
No,
but
it's in the States. I'm almost certain.
because they kept calling it the New World because that's how old the original vampire is. I'll look around.
Well, I also like too the cool part about the show is it
New
did
York,
it very well.
Staten Island.
Is it didn't take the same or like you get cameos of the same characters from the movie, but it didn't rely entirely on those characters, which like I feel like could set you up for either great success or great failure potentially. So like let's remove that entirely. Let's get these new characters involved, these new actors, and they are phenomenal. They support the show well enough to where like an ensemble cast feels not only natural, but I'm like interested in all of them. I've talked about how I guess watching stuff like The Office is a great example if we're comparing the two medias. Where like once Michael Scott left, I personally didn't care. I wish they had ended the show there. And
It's natural. I mean, when you watch a show,
It's also weird because he gets yanked like halfway through the season, or not even. It's like 5 episodes.
Yeah.
It's very weird.
Yeah.
It was a
I haven't
contract
watched
thing.
that season
It
enough.
also makes it worse when you actually know the meta, where it's basically like he didn't leave. They just didn't offer him a new contract. And basically him and his agent were like, I'm not going to beg for it.
Right.
And so it's just like, because there was like a change of like an executive in NBC. And it was just like, are they just not offering me the job again? And it was like, I guess they're not. So he left. Like, that's why he left the office. It wasn't even like, oh, I'm done, I want to leave.
Yeah.
And they were like, and then obviously they fucked up.
Right.
And it was just like, oh, we should have said something. He was like, why would I say something?
Well, the argument's
I'm the
like,
star of the show.
The Office is
What the
an
fuck would you
ensemble
offer
cast.
me? Like, obviously it's kind of a,
It's
but I'm just saying,
both parties expect it, right?
but it's like, you can't say like, oh, we didn't know, we said nothing. Saying nothing's pretty insulting to not offer the lead of
so here's
the
what
fucking
happens.
show.
If both parties are expecting the other one to just continue business as usual, the one party, the production side, is the one that drums up the contract.
Also, when
And
like
so
when
that's where you would expect the
not just
conversation to happen.
not just the lead of the show, but like someone who has grown in popularity
certainly.
and continues to grow outside of the show, right? It's not like he's like, oh shit, I need this. He's like, I'm missing movie deals for the show.
Yeah.
I guess I'll just not be in it
One,
anymore.
there's that,
And
and
when I
then-
read that, I was like, what the fuck?
Like the structure of The Office, again, it's like people argue it's an ensemble cast. It is, but like the entire point of the show is it's The Office versus the boss. It's Michael Scott versus everybody else. So if you remove that element, it's like, oh fuck, okay. No.
It's like his image of the office versus everyone or life and everyone else going, well, this is reality.
Right.
It
Mixed with a
worked-
bunch of different characters and
worked
personalities.
for as long as they can manage it, because it was like everyone versus Michael. But then every now and then it'd be like, but corporate. And then it was like Michael versus
Like BBC,
corporate
yeah.
for The Office.
Yeah, bigger
Right.
bad-
They always kept him not so much of a piece of shit. He was a piece of shit. It's not all like,
Season one, it's rough.
he just doesn't
Yeah.
know. He knows, and he sucks.
Even some of his redeeming moments upon revision. Here's one that I will absolutely talk about The Office nonstop.
Get in it.
Go into it. But there's one that just like still kind of grinds my gears. Is that there is the party boat episode.
Yeah.
Where they're all on the cruise. They're having fun. And
He was
Jim-
steering it.
Yeah, he was. He was. Jim steps outside with Michael after there's this awkward moment with him and Pam where he like almost tells her how he feels about her and then they walk away. And Michael literally gives Jim the advice of engaged ain't married. Don't stop pursuing her no matter what. And I'm like, hey, let's not do
Yeah,
that.
but
He also,
Not do
and to
that.
that point, he also exhibited some creepy signs of that nature. akin
Right.
to
That is
line
weird.
of thought.
Yeah,
But
for
it
sure.
doesn't help your
comment.
case because he was right.
Hang
But well, I'm saying,
Hang on
well, he was though. And then Pam was like, I'm so glad you pursued me.
the
Jim and Pam are a horrible couple.
They are a horrible
UK version,
They
horrible
are a horrible
hate them.
couple. No, but I think they did in the Christmas special though, right?
I thought it was like the
remember.
last hurrah. I mean, I haven't
remember.
seen it in like a decade.
I get your point. You're like, don't encourage this, but Pam's like, I love it.
No, it's
Yeah, it was
So-
the Christmas special where they did the hooking ups and stuffs. No.
I didn't see the Christmas special of the UK. Because
That was like the end.
that was like 10 years later.
Well, yeah, it was the show was over.
Yeah, yeah,
The
yeah.
Christmas special
Are you
was
talking
just
the
like
first kiss or what? Because that's
no,
Casino.
first
no.
kiss.
Yeah.
We're talking about
UK, sorry.
Talking about
UK
the
version.
UK version. UK version.
Goodbye.
The show ended. They weren't together.
Correct.
And then there was like a Christmas special where they like I don't know if they got together or they hooked up.
Got it. Oh, okay.
This episode of Off Topic is brought to you by Chime. No one likes waiting on a paycheck, especially when you got bills due. You don't like it. The people that you owe the money to certainly don't like it. But good thing there's Chime. Now you can get your paycheck up to 2 days early with direct deposit. That means it goes and you have the monies. That's up to 2 more days to save, pay bills, and generally just feel good about your money situation. But Chime is more than just about getting paid early. It's also an award-winning mobile app, checking account, debit card, and optional savings account. Think about what you could do with your money now instead of having to wait 2 more days. Why wait until payday when you can have it now? Now day. So what are you waiting for? Hopefully not your paycheck. Get started with Chime today. Applying for a free account takes less than 2 minutes. Get started at chime.com/offtopic. That's chime.com/offtopic. Banking services and debit card provided by the Bank, Corp Bank, or Stride Bank. N.A. members, FDIC, early access to direct deposit funds. Depends on payer. Chime.com/offtopic. Thanks, Chime. Chime up. Get chimed. Chime on. Chime strong. This episode of the Off Topic podcast is brought to you by Arcade-Ageddon. Rise up and play. Arcade-Ageddon is out now on PlayStation 4, PlayStation 5, Xbox Series X, and Series S Plus. Microsoft Windows, that's like It's like all of them, basically. Gilly, the owner of a local arcade, is trying to save his business from a faceless mega corporation. To do so, he takes all the top arcade games and connects them all to make a super game. But unfortunately, the mega corporation, Funco, it's like that, it kind of sounds like that other one, hacks the game and injects a virus. You and your friends need to save the game and the last hometown arcade. Oh, that's where Jack lives. He'll never leave. Join the battle to save Gilly's Arcade with up to 3 friends in this cooperative, ever-evolving multiplayer shooter. Arcade-A-Geddon allows you to explore multiple biomes, mini-games, find hidden chests, and defeat numerous enemies and bosses with a mix of PvE, that's person versus enemy, and PvP, or like player versus player experiences. You can find the right game type for you. As you continue to play, you can take on additional challenges from the local gangs that hang out in Gilly's Arcade. These will earn you much more than street cred. Our very own, that's right, my very own, they're mine, James and Elise Willems from Funhouse are writers on Arcade-A-Geddon because I let them do it because they're mine, but they not only wrote the game, they're both in the game, okay? Check out the Willems as the voices as Draven and Ruck. I love that for them. I love that. I'm so proud of them. I remember when they were small, but now, wow, sky's the limit. Go to www.arcadeageddon.com now to check out the game or download it now on PlayStation or Xbox. That's Arcade-A-Geddon. It's like arcade, A-R-C-A-D-E, Ageddon. Geddon. I mean, you Google it, it'll come up. Hi there, hello. I think you know this by now, but this episode of Off Topic is brought to you by Me Undies, and by me, but also Me Undies. Have you heard about the legendary underwear brand that's totally taken over the podcasting world? Famous for their buttery soft undies and bralettes? Me Undies loves podcasts just as much as you do, which I hope is a lot. It's like you're made for each other. Get to know the underwear brand on every podcaster's lips and on their booties. There's so much more than undies. Look, we've been in the Me Undie game a long time. It's hard to remember Achievement Hunter without Me Undies, okay? They've been keeping our booties covered and comfortable for many, many years. I love them, wear them all the time. There's not a dry eye in the house when Me Undies come in because they're crying tears of joy unless you don't get one. Then they're crying tears of sadness. Look, everyone knows Me Undies for their super soft undies and comfy bralettes, but did you know that they make other stuff too? That's right. We're talking durable, cushy socks that will make your feet sing. We're talking super stretchy lounge wear. I got some of them. They are good. They are stretchy. We're talking daily tees, shorts, and rompers that add a little silky softness to your everyday. They even make hoodies for your dog, so you can match every important person in your life, available in sizes XS to 4XL and tons of colors and prints. Make MeUndies your destination for all things soft and sustainable. MeUndies has a great offer for you right now. That's right, you. For any first-time purchasers, you get 20% off plus free shipping and returns. To get 20% off your first order, free shipping, and a 100% satisfaction guarantee, go to, here it is, MeUndies.com/off-topic. That's MeUndies.com/off-topic. Thanks, MeUndies.
And then he became a Hobbit.
Then he became in the Black Panther, I think.
Yeah,
right?
he went to Wakanda.
Smeagol's character, what's his name?
Andy Serkis?
Andy Serkis was in.
Not who I'm talking about, but yeah.
Man, I'm mixing it all up. He was in Age of Ultron, but he was in
several films
from Wakanda.
Yeah.
But you're right.
Yeah.
What's his face
was
is
in Star
also
Wars.
What's his name? Freeman?
Morgan Freeman.
Martin Freeman?
No.
Martin Freeman. Yes, it's Martin Freeman.
I am Bilbo.
Martin Freeman.
Bilbo.
Yeah.
Yes. Martin Freeman was.
Yeah, Martin Freeman was running around.
I need Morgan Freeman.
Yeah, I
to
just
go.
don't remember his role very well. But yeah, he was in there.
He was in there because I remember too, very specifically, there was a scene where he was like on some sort of big turret or missile gun in Wakanda. I was like, and this is where he dies. And I just remember being so convinced that like they were gonna murder him, and then he didn't die in that scene. I was like, oh, I guess they're not gonna kill him.
No.
I thought that was the moment where it's like, and now he dies.
No, you can't. You can't do that. You got to keep the Sherlock couple together in all these franchises.
Wasn't Tim?
The Cumberbatch and the Freeman.
Yeah, there's Jim and Tim.
In the UK, it's Tim and
Dawn.
Dawn. Yeah.
I only know that because of the parallel to what you were saying about Michael Scott's character is in the UK version, Ricky Gervais's character comes through and he's like, I bet everybody in this office would have liked to wake up to the crack of dawn. And then he spikes the lens and she's just like,
yikes. This is also me going
Very
way too
rough.
introspective. I just want to know, internet, let me know if you can find out. Is she named Pam in the US version because Dawn is used to clean dishes and Pam is used on
that's
dishes as
awesome.
well?
I mean, that's a real
sometimes,
cool.
Sometimes
I'm either an insomniac or I'm high and it's 3 a.m. and I'm looking at.
Have you been to a writer's room?
Have
you been to a writer's room?
how about Pam for the spray?
Cool idea.
What if her name was Ajax?
I bet it's probably not in the show
They
Bible.
get sued by Marvel.
That's true.
I have talked to Michael about how much I would think it'd be awesome to have a kid named Ajax.
Yeah, and I keep saying stupid.
He's like, no one will open with like a dish soap. I'm like, come on.
Stupid.
gotta
I was
call
like,
him
I was like,
Alfred
it's, I
Jack.
was like, bro, it's a fucking soap.
Yeah.
And Lindsay's always like, yeah, but the soap was
Well, the
named
clean
after.
child.
And I go, right, but who cares? No one knows that. They're gonna be like, you're named after a soap. And then his whole life, he'd be like, but do you know what the soap was named after?
Listen,
and they're gonna go,
we
shut
should
the
all
fuck
know-
up. Shut up. Who cares? You're
We
named
should all
after
know
soap.
We watched Deadpool, okay? That joke is riddled through that movie.
Yeah.
Thank you.
If you're named Ajax out there, I'm sorry.
That's
Yeah.
it's too soon.
You
It's
are a
like,
mighty warrior.
You're at least 100 years from naming your kid Ajax if you want him away from the soap, and that's just
Right.
hoping the soap dies off.
Right.
All right?
Hey,
Because I'll tell
I'll
you,
be real.
Ajax ain't out there cleaning up ducks in oil.
Exactly.
That's gone.
I haven't seen Ajax in a
Okay.
few years now, so maybe they're trickling
You see
off.
a duck fucking drowning in oil in the bottle, you go, that's the good
Quick,
stuff.
somebody grab
And
the
I-
Ajax.
Yeah,
Let's
and I
do
wonder,
that.
and I wonder, did they take a picture of that
He's a
duck
hero.
as it was drowning, or did they dump oil in the duck to
Ajax
put the
running
picture on
onto
the
the site
bottle?
with a bunch of Dawn soap.
Damn
They're
right.
like, wow, look at this lovely duck we have. We're gonna take a picture of him today and put him on the new bottle of Dawn. Dump the oil on him.
You know, most of those animals, unfortunately, pass away after
very
being
aware.
cleaned. Oil, very toxic.
Yeah.
Wouldn't want to slather that on
Yeah,
myself.
but you already bought the soap.
I'm in. I'm in.
I
I'm
think
bought.
someone during quarantine named their baby Lysol.
I think someone's during
someone has
anything
done it.
named their baby everything.
2 comments. One, I saw a thread going around recently about what would you name your baby if it had no connection to the actual like word you're using. So people throw out like syphilis, beautiful word, but obviously you know what that means.
Obviously. What do you mean?
Yeah, hang on.
What is it?
So it's like someone said malaria. I'm like, all right, that'd be cool.
Okay.
Like, hi, I'm malaria. Oh.
I mean, those are kind of nice
Right?
words.
Remove the meaning.
But yeah, when you take the context, like,
Hi.
I'm Princess Syphilus.
wow.
My name is Mrs. COVID.
Hi, kids.
So that actually, funny, but also Barbara and I were watching a Project Runway, one of the newer runs. I forget the gentleman's name, but obviously not Tim Gunn hosting it now. It is someone else.
You had to make it work.
Had to make it work. But anyway, there is, and I think it was just before quarantine went down, there is a gentleman with the name COVID on that show. And so listening to like some of the commentary out of context plays very well in the current environment where I'm like, oh, that's really unfortunate you said it that way. But they didn't know.
Or for a while, like Corona is a name of
Sure,
cities,
absolutely
et cetera.
it is.
And while it was being called Corona, there was a ton of discourse online about
Yep.
like, oh, like now it's kind of awkward knowing the context. But part 2 of my comment too was going to be like, I've seen a lot of times where someone will be named a name and now it's associated with some kind of like pop culture phenomenon or an IP, and they're like, God damn it, like,
Right, like it was
Ajax.
Like it
It's
was ruined retroactively.
Right,
Like,
yeah,
man, I really liked my name. AMC movie theaters, but now, dang it, I couldn't come up with an example fast
Here's
enough.
a better one.
So I went
Karen.
vintage.
Yeah, right. Like,
Karen,
sorry,
yeah,
Karen.
that's a
I
better.
love my named after my grandmother. I love it. What's a Karen?
Why are
boy.
you calling
Why
me
are
that?
you calling
How
me
does it?
that?
How do you know my name?
Who let that happen? Dude, I love that like Karen has lived long enough where
To see herself become the villain.
well, it's a thing where like, you know, for a thing it's like this is what a Karen is.
Right.
We went through that phase of like learning what a Karen is, but it's both the Karens of the world have not stopped, and Karen the meme has not stopped. And so now like you literally have videos of like Karen videos where people going, hi, Karen, you're a Karen. And it's like, I'm not Karen. Like it's gone on so long where usually like by the time it hits, it's not still going.
Yeah.
But it's people like going like, I got the next Karen. You're going on the internet. And it's like, no, you're a Karen.
You
a
do
Karen.
not have my approval to film me in this public space.
Dude, Chad just also pointed out another great one. They said Isis. I'm like, yeah, amazing Egyptian goddess, phenomenal towers, revered for centuries.
Yeah, but here's the thing. But here's the thing. I think you're not too far away from being able to bring that back.
You think it was a blip?
In the grand scheme of things, a little bit.
In the grand scheme,
yeah.
Yes. In our recent history, yeah, kind of still blippish.
A little bit.
Edging on the blip.
I'm just saying. I'm talking like decades.
Sure, but for the knots, for the whatever you call the O numbers, the early 2000s.
I had the same thought.
It's the knots.
Yeah, you said knots.
What else would you say it?
You add something else at the end of it, and then it turns into something else.
Well, I don't know what he's saying.
Naughty?
I don't know what you're saying.
I'm just saying the first decade of this millennia. Yes, that would have been the bad time to have.
Did you say knots or mots?
Right. I just
talking
called
about
them.
the
I just called them the 2000s.
Yeah, but then like
Just
we're
the
still in the
2000s.
2000s.
No, we're not.
right?
To the 2000s is 2000 and 2010.
See, I'm with you. I'm not disagreeing. I agree
that's-
100%. But
that's
in the
what it
back of my
is.
mind, I go,
The
yeah,
front
but,
of my mind.
but 2022
Yeah, but
is
that's
Hear me out.
2020.
Call them the
Because you got nothing in
We'll be in the
2000.
2000s for another
Yeah, but you got
980
nothing to
years.
leverage in the year 2003 except the 2000s.
Sure.
got the
But after
O's,
that,
the
you got
10s, the
options.
I call it-
If you skip 2010 to say the 2000s still, you're fucking stupid.
I say
Get
the
outta here.
Spears Aguilera era.
okay.
That's
The Aga
thank you.
era.
Thank you.
Aguilera.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Christina Aguilera, you're great.
Okay.
Wherever you are.
Christina Aguilera.
She is
You
watching.
okay? Yeah.
But speaking of things we were watching, you were asking me before, but there's a phenomenal, if not long, movie called RRR.
I didn't want to push it and
Push it. It's so
figuratively
good.
Run this train up
Is
awry.
RRR?
It's a movie film.
Movie
So,
film.
It's an
Okay.
experience, is what
Go
it
ahead.
is. A religious experience. No, like in all seriousness.
Don't look at me. I haven't seen it.
This is a film from India, and I've had people describe it as Bollywood, but I've also seen people say it's not Bollywood. Please don't.
It's
don't
Telugu
associate
is the
it.
original language, so it's Tollywood, which I'll admit I'm fully ignorant on Bollywood and franchises coming from India. But so I looked into it because I realized the dub is actually Hindi, but the mouth doesn't match most of the time. And so I was like, what's the original language then? Because then I'm reading subs in English. Yeah, it's Telugu. I hope I'm pronouncing that properly. But yeah, very fun film. A lot of really good action, a lot of heart in the story.
And Trevor kind of hit the nail on the head, and I'm going to speak from that place
Please.
too. It's like I'm just a person who was watched Bollywood films since high school and thought they were really cool because they were very adjacent to like musical theater. It's very lively, very vibrant. There's a lot of musical themes going on, and this is no exception. First,
Dance numbers.
Yeah, dude. And when we say dance numbers, it's like wow, you've seen some nice choreography. Where it's like, oh, that was pretty cool. That was fun. I'm talking like these people go hard.
Yeah.
And like thinking about doing that scene over and over again, or like particular scenes that we probably are thinking of the same one right now.
Say
it's
it.
like
Say it out. Put it out there.
okay. So it's called the dance is called the Nacho. It's Naacho, and you can probably look it up on Netflix. They have or on YouTube. They have some clips that they've taken from Netflix. But the two main actors, it's them doing the dancing as well. So that's also extra impressive. They are singing, dancing, and acting. Triple threat. Love to see it. And they go through this whole sequence where. I'll also say the movie takes place in like Victorian era India during the sphere of influence. So England is taking over like economically, physically, a lot of the area of India, especially the area in which our main characters find themselves. So they're at a party.
Origin of some of the conflict.
Yes, yeah, literally the conflict of a lot of the film. So they're at this party. Everything is very, stereotypically English. Yeah, and like mandated that way. So these characters break out into this dance, and it is beautiful. Like, again, emotionally, the heart behind that scene, and just the physical, like, dedication taken into doing something like that. These people are ripped like Marvel heroes, but they're also like intricate dancers.
Yeah.
It's really cool.
It was awesome. And it ends up being, I don't want to spoil too much, but I want to say enough, because like, I want to give this film so much credit. Like, the dance I believe you're talking about is like a moment where it essentially becomes a duel. Like it's almost like a dance-off.
Yeah.
And it's like
a culture clash metaphorically.
Yeah, yes, exactly. And so like the one style of dance and the other style of dance, and then like kind of going at it in that way, and then who can maintain this very very dramatic, very expressive dance. And then like everyone's collapsing one at a time, and then at the very end you have like this final duel. It was really cool, and like they convey, thematic like threads without being heavy-handed. So like they convey a very nice, poignant message just with that little duel at the end.
Yeah.
Like that's it. Like they say so much by just showing, and it's very cool in that way.
And like, we don't want to spoil anything, but even within the moments that Trevor's talking about, if you've seen it, you'll know. But like, there are so many layers of metaphor in that. It's like, okay, you got the culture clash, but also clash between these two characters, and also clash between these two characters, all within the same frames that you're watching. I'm like, man, this is actually really intricate. I like how detailed this is. It's cool.
And then the music playing in the background was two bands in a battle of the bands.
Yes, literally.
Fighting each other.
And there's a tiger fighting like a stag in the background as well.
Yeah, it's wild.
It's funny because you saw it. I don't know when you saw it, but you mentioned it to me.
Yeah.
Not you.
Oh, sorry.
Him.
Trevor.
Okay.
You
mentioned it to me not too long ago. I don't know if that's when you saw it or you just got reminded of it for some reason. But you mentioned it.
I mentioned it to you
like a month or so.
Yeah, around the time I saw it. Yeah.
And you were like, "Oh, you gotta watch this movie. It's awesome." But cool. And then Lindsay I didn't mention anything about it to Lindsay. I didn't get around to watching it. And Lindsay was like, "Yeah, I watched this movie RRR in the plane." And I was like, "Stop! You're talking to Barbara." And Lindsay's like, "What? No." And I was like,
because Barbara watched it too.
well, because I was like, the only other person I've heard talk about it is Trevor, and you were at a convention with Barbara. I was like, obviously Trevor. And Barbara saw it, and Barbara told you about it, and Lindsay's like, I have no idea what you're talking about. And I was just like,
I'm so glad you kind of stumbled.
Well, I was just like, yo, RRR is blowing up.
Gus told us via the RT podcast. He's like, don't look into it, just watch it.
Apparently nobody told Lindsay. They just found it.
That's great.
I saw it.
You found it before I got around to saying we should watch it. And now you watched it without me. And
You've
so
probably
I'm
all seen a
pissed.
clip. There's a clip that I saw in there that I was like,
tell me what I've
this has been memeified, this clip.
Well,
It's
talking about
very
some of
popular.
the special effect work too.
I gotta
we
watch
just-
it because I don't know what's going on.
Oh no, it's amazing.
gotta watch
Why are you listening? They're telling us
I'm
what's
listening.
going on.
I'm just saying.
I didn't
High energy. Oh yeah,
I know,
and
right?
Trevor's detailing in. He's
Listen. Oh, I got really floppy ears compared to you.
Do you?
Yeah.
Sleepyhead.
God.
Spoiler.
genuinely.
It's
So I was
not
saying
time
it's
for
like
bed.
high action musical movie mixed
Stop
with
rubbing your own
superhero.
ears.
Oh, goodness.
Never felt how.
You're like, you were like,
they were
I haven't seen this movie. I have to watch. I'm interested. And Lindsay's like, well, and you go, I'm rubbing my ears. Like, as they're telling you about it. You just completely distracted
stiff
yourself.
ears.
I'm fixing them so I
got
can hear
loose.
better.
I got like
Just your
loose
ears
floppers.
to hear this. So you're talking about special effects work.
Yes.
Well, that's a whole other level of the film.
Banjo right now.
It's incredible. Just the detailing.
Get in the trunk and take it out.
No, don't do that. Don't do that.
In the trunk. You gotta get in the trunk first.
Jesus.
I don't know what
I wish.
I don't know what he's
I wish you saw how
Well, I described the special effects, Michael.
run
made
off
it
in front of
set.
the table.
Oh, you
was
want me to
awesome.
run off like how I
I just wanted his movie career to kick off.
God damn.
But anyway, the special effects are no joke. Get into it, please. I was eating up the action.
I mean, yeah, like the only equivalent.
Trevor's
I can think
excited
of,
like
and
someone who hasn't seen it.
I'm not.
I want to watch
Yeah.
it again. I'm here.
I will. So I will watch it again with all my friends, everyone. But yeah, it's like I'm not even exaggerating. It is like Marvel level equivalent special
Dude, it was
effects.
clean, but it's
Yeah.
also like it's perfectly over the top. It's just campy enough because like that is akin to Tollywood and Bollywood films where they have like I'm sure you've all seen now like there's a film that I haven't seen where they pull a palm tree down, a group of gentlemen with their armor and shields get up onto it, they slingshot themselves through the air, they form a ball and they become a cannonball essentially, and then they get back up and they fight. It was like that kind of
Damn
level of
right.
action is very typical of like
You can
Bollywood
suspend your disbelief.
films.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
But it's like there's times where he'll like kickflip a motorcycle, catch it, swing it around,
Oh, I feel like.
or outmuscle a
When did this movie
tiger.
come out?
Probably a few months ago, maybe. You might have seen the clip
I
that's
might have
classic
seen
of like the
clips.
tiger jumping and then grabbing someone and like flipping in
And
the
they
air.
said,
Yeah.
I mean, straight up said, you've seen a clip. He said
So
that.
yeah,
Trevor was like, you've seen a clip.
He
of
must have
this.
been tickling his
And
ears.
then you were like,
Maybe.
I may have seen a clip of this.
maybe. Jog your memory.
Yeah, there's a clip of this movie that like I'd forgotten about, but then halfway through the movie I went, oh, there's the thing. It was the whole Leo DiCaprio meme where he's like,
He's pointing.
yeah.
He's
He's like, oh wait a minute, that's anyway.
Absolutely.
That's that meme.
I'll definitely see it again. It's cheesy to say, but it's true. I'm like, I laughed, I cried openly on an airplane because there's some really like heartfelt moments.
But Surgeon General's warning, Lindsay cries at everything.
It's true, but I extra cry.
General's warning.
I'm just saying, don't take it away. It's like,
says it here on the box.
hey, listen to me, this movie, I
I'm a
cried.
weepy bitch.
And someone going, oh my God, like, I can't, this has to be so emotional. And then they'll watch it and go,
I will say,
where was the part?
I'm mad sensitive.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, having not seen the movie, you can never trust them.
Having
I'm
seen it.
signing, you know, the form. It does hit emotional spreads, which is
Lindsay's
good. It's not often that you
bawling when the little green alien gets dropped in Toy Story.
It's true.
He was chosen.
Don't get me started on
this
Bing
is
Bong and
amazing.
Inside Out.
Great. Joe's watching the movie now.
This
He
is
lost him for the
amazing.
next 40 fucking
he is.
minutes.
Right?
He's actually clicking.
While,
It's incredible.
while Joe watches the movie,
Joe.
hang on, let Joe watch
so
the movie
good.
for a
Watch
second.
it with me. I'll walk up to the camera. We'll
Joe,
watch it together.
quiet. We can't do that, okay? That's illegal. While Joe watches the next scene, we're gonna go to a quick commercial break. Joe, quick, watch the scene while we do commercials. They're ad reads, but I'm calling them commercials now.
I like
I
that.
turned it off.
Oh, well, we're back. He turned it off.
Is it illegal if it's posted on YouTube already? By them? By
That's like
Netflix?
stumbling onto the Pirate Bay and being like,
By
look at all
Net-
these free
no.
movies. Is
It
this
was posted
illegal?
by Netflix.
Yeah,
on
but it's
here.
Yeah, but it's
and
theirs.
YouTube is the Fair Use Act.
Joe,
is
that's
on
how I watched it on the plane.
But what's the fair use?
I feel like you're saying a lot of things that you want to be true and you don't know anything about it at all. Which I think
Please
you
say
err on
yes.
the caution of
Please just say
don't
yes.
Let's all
show
watch
it on
it
a
again.
broadcast
Let's all watch
at a
it.
company that where you're
Get
gonna get in
remote
trouble
dogs.
for.
Sure, there we go.
I'm not gonna get in trouble.
When they say when the video gets this video gets taken down because Joe played fucking 10 seconds of a clip, I want to hear his defense of going, but they put it on YouTube. The Fairness Act,
The Fair Use
the Fair
Mr.
Use Act
FCC.
certifies that when I'm on off topic,
Yeah.
I can show any clip I want. Just don't do it. It's live.
That's
it
what
was
those-
just a cool scene. Play your little games in a pre-recorded show. We don't fuck around here in a live show. This is life and death.
Yeah.
All right? They're not like your little shitty shows you film and then you edit out all the crap.
Is he laughing
all right?
or is he
This is
crying?
happening now.
The joy is you can't tell.
The joy is pick your own adventures.
See?
Goodness.
See?
Dude.
Don't cry. Do you want to win another game? Do you want to win another game, little crybaby?
Don't cut away from
That's
Joe's
another
tears.
spoiler.
I like
There's an
leaving
upcoming video.
spoilers that have no context.
Oh, Joe cried
So
his
they
way
don't
to a
make sense
victory.
until you've seen
He
the
straight
video.
up cried his way to a victory.
I did not
in upcoming-
cry.
I was not. Joe went like this. Joe went. I can has win now.
Did that happen in this set? Well,
Oh,
not
it
this
sure
set,
did.
Like here.
It sure did.
I know what to look for then. Let's roll.
I started doing the fucking.
And everyone else went like this.
Gotta get the lip flapping
That's
around.
pretty great.
Dude, I crammed through the Lord of the Rings extended edition this
Oh
week.
God, how do you cram that? It's impossible.
That's what I always thought.
Once
you're on the ride, you're just like
you can't cram it.
How long is each episode extended? It's like 3.
Episode?
4 hours, baby.
Maybe. Like
4
3.5,
hours on
4
average.
That's amazing.
Half a day. You can't cram 12 hours.
Are we
Yes, you
no? Are we the same
Of
person?
Lord of the
'Cause I
Rings?
watched all
Yes.
of Monster
And then
High,
you
and I
watch
feel
The
like we're
Hobbit
just
right after.
We're on the
similarly.
same
That's not a
bandwidth.
cram.
You have elves and I have.
It's not a cram too, because I'm gonna be honest. It's 4 hours of bonus features. Like I'm not saying
Dude,
it's not
I was
good.
into it though.
I'm not saying it's not good, but it's shit where they were like, we gotta cut this. No one's gonna watch
Has
this in
anyone
theater.
here
Experience.
Yes.
ever played the Lord of the Rings Return of the King game
Yes.
on PlayStation?
Two Towers better, but yes.
GameCube, but yes.
So good. Return of the King was great. I'm not saying it's
Was that
bad.
on-
I'm just
was
saying
that
Two Towers Helm's
PlayStation
Deep
2?
was better.
Wait, no, I didn't. The one I played was like the Shadow one.
No.
Oh, Shadow
yeah.
of Mordor or whatever.
Yes, that one.
Okay.
For
I haven't played
360.
that,
I didn't play the previous
Okay.
ones.
Yeah, no,
Yes.
Helm's Deep was a really awesome level because like if you didn't want to progress, you could just sit there and like just fucking nerf these orcs. You
That's
could just
true.
put them down.
Come on,
The
that's fucked
same with like Boromir's situation when he's like in the woods. So Two Towers was like the game that really helped break some of the barriers down where you didn't feel like you were on a rail, and Return of the King kind of continued that. So
That's
then you
true.
could be like in the whatever it's called, just like the opening area of Gondor, and you're just like you're Gandalf and you're stabbing and you're slashing and shit. Like, oh,
Hell yeah.
you
My favorite
felt like
was
the
when you used
characters.
Legolas,
Yeah.
and his arrows were amazing.
Well, also for a lot of it, including the Helm's Deep level, I remember like running up top on the cliffside while they had like all of the other people were down below. I was like, yeah, that's right, I have an arrow. Like,
Yeah.
what you gonna do?
Or you Legolas and you just kick the ladder down.
You were, hey,
Yeah.
you were Trevor before you started playing Elden Ring.
the precursor.
You can't get me, fuckers.
Yeah, no, that's how I play all the
win,
time.
dude.
Like,
Back it up. Too close.
I love Close.
Rules of
Take
engagement.
that.
Hang on. Joe has a confession to make. What
Go
was
ahead,
that?
my son.
I love Dark Souls, but I also hate it.
That's Dark Souls.
What a conundrum.
It's such a bad fucking game.
The duality of fan is what you
It's
described.
so horrible.
Welcome to
But
the
it's
dark
like,
side.
I'm addicted to the pain. I'm a masochist.
I'm addicted to the pleasure.
Someone in the office said, like, who
watching
likes Elden
Joe
Ring? I said, masochists. That's
I would say
Elden Ring's the easiest one.
Elden Ring was gorgeous. Such a beautiful game.
Elden Ring's the dang
the
on easiest
natural
one.
exploration, the game design that unfolds before you, it encourages. If you like open world and you haven't played Elden Ring, fucking do it. It doesn't have to be like Dark Souls. If you hit an area that's too tough, just go somewhere else.
Elden Ring is by far the
God, it was
easiest.
good.
And I think sensibly, because it's like an entry point,
Yeah.
right? They were like, it's not Dark Souls 4.
They won me over.
It's not Bloodborne 2.
Right.
It's not Sekiro 2. It plays almost identically to Dark Souls 3, but there are a couple of things that make it so much just easier, not just in difficulty, but like, oh God, you can jump over things.
Yeah.
Fuck.
Yeah.
You can jump and like actually like you can jump in Dark Souls 3, but it's mostly like it's just an animation. Even if you run, you jump like a foot into the air.
Yeah.
But even if there's something 6 inches, you don't jump over it. Like you can't jump over it. Elden Ring, you fly. They give you a fucking reindeer horse that can double jump and fly through the sky.
Oh yeah, you get that fast.
Yeah, you get it real fast.
do you want?
You haven't earned the right yet.
Why? What do you want?
Because you have to be broken down first, so I
Right.
can rebuild.
I've already been broken
You
down.
haven't even begun to
You
be
must
broken.
watch all of the Lord of the Rings extended films back to back in the span of the next 3
No,
days.
you must fight the first actual boss first.
I did fight them. Oh,
That was like the prologue boss, though.
it's
So, Joe, what are we doing?
me and Michael
What are you
have
talking
been
about?
playing Dark Souls 3, but it's just me playing because I've never played From Software
Dude,
games.
the stories I've heard from the two of you, I'm so excited for it.
And
I'm so excited to see how you play.
Michael's basically my mentor in that game as well.
Sure.
But in reality, he's not. He's teaching me
More
things
like tormentor.
by not teaching me things.
I'll say this. I write a line of like, there's a lot of not just Dark Souls masochists as the players, but the viewers. They love watching people die because it's funny.
'Cause they
freak out.
anticipate it.
They freak out.
They wanna see
But then there's an even deeper, more disgusting sect where they'll like trick you to die.
Oh,
you don't have
yeah.
to do that. The game does it enough.
Yeah.
So like Joe will go, why didn't you tell me that was there? And I go, you have to learn. But I don't go, hey, what's that? Go look at that.
Right.
Check that out. You died,
know.
stupid. There's
Right.
one specific moment where literally he's got a shred of health and he's walking around. He's like, are the enemies in here? Has this room clear? I will say, we picked Dark Souls 3 because I think it's the easiest to get into before Elden Ring. It's the newest, so it's like the most user-friendly.
Sure.
I have beaten it now like 20 times. So it's not even me being good at it. I fucking know almost every single area in my head. And while it's fresh, it's so satisfying knowing what is behind every single corner for Joe. Both if he's stuck, I can help him, but also I go, are you gonna go that way?
But I also
Okay.
have no mechanics. Like I will give myself a little bit of credit. Sometimes I'm good at dodging, but I suck at then following up with anything else.
Joe panics so quickly. We're like,
Oh, that's not a good
he'll like
move.
roll away from an enemy and just go, and then roll back towards them and then away and back. And I'm just going, what are you doing?
I run out of stamina and I ended up rolling in front of them and
Yeah.
they just kill me.
Or he'll run
Yeah.
up to somebody and just start swinging and swinging and swinging and swinging, and the guy's like one hit away, and Joe's like, he won't attack! He won't attack! And he gets killed, and he goes, like I wouldn't attack! And I was like, yeah, you see that green bar? That was gone. So you
Yeah.
can't swing anymore, Joe. That's your stamina. How you gonna swing your sword?
panic in a game
You
like
can't.
that.
And he goes, I ran out of stamina.
I'm tired and winded.
But like, there's one part in particular, you're running around and you're like, there's nobody in here, right? And I'm like, I don't know, be careful. And he's like, you're gonna trick me. You're gonna, oh, what's that? And he touches it, and I went, bye, Joe. And then he fucking dies immediately.
Dude, there is a chest.
It's very funny.
Tell me if this is in any of the other Dark Souls games. There's a chest in Elden Ring that many players find on their first playthrough, and you're very like fresh as a character, fresh out the church womb, the cathedral that you come from.
the church
Chichen.
wing.
Sure. And then you step out, you see the world, you're like, this is great. And then you see like the guy with like
that's fine.
the golden knight, and you're like, that's tough. I'm gonna go this
The
way.
maidenless guy, the guy that rolls up and he goes, hey,
No, there's that guy, but down there, there's like a big knight that'll like one tap you.
the guy on the horse.
Yeah.
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 So normally you're either like, okay, there's a cathedral over there, you like get a bonfire or whatever it's called, the grace.
Grace.
Or
Touch
you
grace.
can go to the right.
Touch grace, nerd.
Right. And then you go down this little path, and then you see these ruins, and you're like, oh, okay, there's a bunch of like sleepy zombie kind of characters. You can kind of run past them, and then you make you feel like you're getting loot immediately out of the game. You're like, this is great. Oh, like chest, it's unguarded. I'm gonna get this chest. You open it, and you have, if you know better, enough time to roll away, but it smoke comes up, and then, but if you're novice, like I thankfully didn't have this happen, but Randy did. Randy, that's part of why he stopped playing the game. It's a trap chest. It pulls you away, sends you off to a peninsula in a mine somewhere, which these characters are like made out of rock, so they're like very hard to fight.
You got to use a different like weapon.
Yeah.
Like I don't remember all of them, but there's like piercing. You need like smashing or whatever.
There's slash, physical, and whatever.
Yeah.
That's cool.
You need some smashy weapons for the rock guys.
The only way to actually get out of there, because they're hard even when you level up, is to just sprint and like take a clean path out of there. Don't get hit. Find a grace and run.
See, so that works because if you go into a mine at all, the game has fast travel. That's the other thing. Like Dark Souls variously introduces fast travels in different ways. Elden Ring, again, easiest. Like once you get it, you can fast travel you don't need to go somewhere. Like in Dark Souls 3, you have to go to a bonfire to fast travel to another one. You do eventually get like an item or a spell where you can like warp back to a bonfire and then from there go wherever you want. Elden Ring is finally like, fuck it, you can do it whenever, except like in a dungeon. Like it's basically like house rule.
Yeah.
Like, oh, if you're in a house, fuck you.
Yep.
The other thing is there's another one of those things that fucking throws your ass right into shit, I forget what it's called, but it's like the really hard section in the beginning of the game on the east side. Like everything's like molten lava. It's like all the giant dog monsters and shit.
No, that's outside this mine. This mine.
It throws you there, but where normally you could fast travel, but the curse of the chest is you can't fast travel until you find a new grace.
Yes.
So you still have to wander around hell. Oh, and they put you right next to a bunch of fucking giant bears.
Yeah. Ooh, those bears always suck, no matter where you're at.
I don't play this game anymore.
That's fine. Dude, that's not this game. This is
different game.
I thought Elden Ring, I thought he'd have too many options. His head would get all scrambled. Dark Souls is much more linear.
Yeah.
But it's easier for me to coach.
Sure.
And so I'll say I feel like Joe and I started, I tried to impart a lot on him. It's very, at least like the first video, it's very like, okay, Joe, this is my advice. You do this, you do that. He spends fucking 85 minutes making his disgusting character.
It's not, it looks just like me.
We're gonna cut that down. But
what's the name of the character? Do you want to say that?
Oh, introducing Majin Joe.
It's Majin Joe. Majin Joe is his character. And I felt like it was good. He learned a lot, but it was very like, I'll tell you how to play. I'll tell you a trick. I'll tell you that.
Yeah.
This guy, I say, he left feeling pretty confident. And he was like, hey, turns out I'm good. And I was like, you know that was the tutorial, right? Like, and he's like, well, no, I beat the guy. I'm like, right, that's the tutorial to learn the game.
The scripted
no, it's not scripted, but the next part, you're gonna fight more than one guy at a time. Because you haven't been doing that really. It's like never happens. And Joe's like, oh, I'm excited to play it again. We're 5 minutes into the next one. This is like another day. And he was like, I hate this. I hate it. And I was like, now we're in the game. I actually thought to myself, I was like, because Joe's definitely better than I was when I started. But I didn't have a coach. But I'm like, maybe Joe's just gonna like ace this. I don't know. Maybe he'll just like, you're gonna die, right? You no matter, unless you're like a speedrunner, super professional, key, like just perfect iframer, you're going to die, no matter how good you are. That's part of the game. There's no like, oh no, I died, I'm bad. But I'm like, maybe Joe's just gonna be like really good and this won't be that hard at all. Never mind. Just this man writhing and screaming. I hate this game. I want to keep playing it. I hate it.
I will say, the one thing I hate
very
the
funny.
most in Dark Souls is that you can hit the fucking walls. And you hit the wall.
Dude.
Oh yeah.
Joe coming across a little dude that's like on a ledge and he goes, time to die, little bitch. Oh, shit. Wait, hold on. Wait, hang on.
Oh, that'd be me.
And I'm like, Joe, move! And then the guy just goes, zap, 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 and then you just die. And then you go, I forgot about my souls! Because Joe will die, drop a bunch of souls, and I'm like, look.
All your money.
Look, first things first, go get him. And Joe's like, yeah. But first I'm gonna go down this way and kill this guy for extra. And I keep saying, don't get greedy. And then I go, now you just died fighting a man worth 100 souls and you lost 4,000. How does that feel?
Yeah.
How do you go home to your family now and say, you got no souls on the table?
Joe's
That's
living
hubris. It's very
Vegas
fun to
mentality
watch.
in video games. You're video gaming Vegas.
I hate the game so much.
Me too.
Do you think there will ever be a Dark Souls-esque game, or excuse me, film?
Yeah.
Probably.
Yeah.
What's funny, you mentioned
luck.
the connection with Elden Ring is whenever Elden Ring first came out, I didn't know anything about its connection to the Dark Souls series, although I was aware of Dark Souls existing. So I saw a tweet from Elise joking about how it was a Lord of the Rings game, but I thought she was serious because she's like, if you know Elise, she is like the most hardcore Lord of the Rings fan. Well, one that, and then also like she loves Lord of the Rings.
She loves Lord of the Rings and Muppets.
Well, she said happy birthday to a good friend of hers, where she said in that, which was appropriate because I was watching the movies, this is the one person who I would trust to carry the ring. And I was like,
it's true.
I'm watching that right now.
It's true. Yeah, it's the DiCaprio right there. Yeah. But so she tweeted about it, and I again foolishly didn't look it up, and I went, I'll just take Elisa's word for it. Like that's real. Yeah. So I was talking to Michael later, and I was like, so is this like the Lord of the Rings?
Lindsay started talking to me about how Elden Ring ties into the Lord of the Rings. I was like, what the fuck are you talking about?
Wait,
like
what?
asking or saying?
No, asking because Lindsay was like, oh no, I saw Lisa's tweet about it. And I was like, I don't know what she tweeted.
I was excited. I'm like, dude, a new open world, like Lord of the Rings
that was a joke.
game? Yeah.
No, there was a window of time where I was there too.
This doesn't have. Lindsay was Lindsay was just like, I thought it was Lord of the Rings.
I was excited.
It's like, it's not.
Yeah, I didn't know FromSoft, so I saw Elden Ring and I saw everyone talking about it, and I was like, okay, sure, whatever. And then I just assumed, that it would.
I got sucked in deep.
Yeah?
I mean, I never played them ever. Made a couple of rage quits. Couldn't stand them. Wasn't interested in them. And then just one day.
You grew up.
Oh, no.
Look at you.
One day, Alfredo decided to stream himself being murdered again and again again for hours at a time. And the glee I got out of just watching him die, going, die. and then like I left. I straight up like left, went, because I was at home. This is like after hours. Came back like an hour and a half later, and he was on the same guy, and I was dumbfounded. I couldn't fucking believe it.
Yeah.
And so I had
That's what kept me out.
The fascination of him just dying and not quitting, but also me going, I bet I could do better than you. And I was like, I gotta see how hard this game is.
It's like tenacity versus
And for some reason, I don't know why, for some reason, like, because I'm with you, like, if you don't like it from the get-go and you die and die and die and die and die, that's not gonna make you like it. But for some reason, like, within like the first hour, something clicked with me that never clicked before, where I was like, I think I kind of understand this game. And that was Joe at the end of the first video. And he was like, I understand it. I get it. It's hard, but I love it. And then he got to the real game.
It's rewarding.
And then he was like, fuck this game. I hate it. It sucks. It's a piece of shit.
It rewards,
and then
you feel like you're integral to the solution. You feel like you're actually progressing with something. And so when you conquer something that was fucking you up, you then feel like...
It's fun. I enjoy it.
I earned that.
So people take it too far, though. Like any other fandom.
Like you.
Like Star Wars fandoms, no.
And make
I don't take it too far. I'm up close. You're the guy fucking looking with binoculars, fighting.
The sky scope.
Dude, anytime that comes up, Joe goes, what's this? I go, don't worry about it. That's a Trevor thing. Don't worry about that.
And every time he says it, I go,
he's like, what's this? And I go, that's a staff, put it down. Or if he gets out of line, sometimes I'll go, you want me to give you to Trevor? Because he'll turn you into a goddamn mage.
Hey, I'll hand him over. Give me an episode and I'll make him...
What are you going to do with a dex mage?
Give me your boy and I'll make him...
His faith and intelligence are shit.
With his
powers
of a god.
Because he also kept doing, like, early on, you know, like... I will say a big thing about the game, regardless of a skill or anything, is knowing what the fuck your character is. Like, just do, like, 20 minutes of research. Look up, like, builds. Like, knowing Joe was like, I want to attack fast. Melee. I'm like, okay, Dex is a little bit faster than Strength. Strength's slower, but it's stronger. Let's go Dex. This character is a good Dex-based character. He starts with good weapons that scale towards Dex. Having that information makes the game playable. That is what Alfredo didn't have, and so it was like he was like a third of the way through the game, and his build just sucked.
Oh yeah.
But it was like, but he got because he was playing it publicly, so he had 10,000 people trying to backseat, so he just didn't listen to anyone.
Oh, yeah.
Got it.
But then he had no knowledge. That's the most frustrating part. If you have someone who are like, oh, I have a character that can fight, the game is way more enjoyable. Like from that point. But
because certain weapons have certain stats that help certain attributes.
Oh, absolutely.
So if you have a Dex build, you want like a katana.
Right, you're running around with
a rapier.
You have a fucking greatsword and it sucks ass.
Strength.
Like, but the sword's big.
Just curious too, because you mentioned it earlier. Are there like elemental fusions into your attacks too, or is it just by
you can infuse your weapons, or you can just buff them, which is like temporarily, like a spell, like a pyromancy, like puts fire on your sword or whatever.
A grease.
But grease is just an item. But I was like, I think Joe hit that point where he's like, I've learned it. Like, I got it. Like, I get it. Like, I'm over the hump. And then the game started.
Yeah.
And it put him.
Yeah, but then
right back
after the end of filming that second video, I was really fucking angry. I was really angry. I hated it. I hated it so much. And then 15 minutes go by, and I'm like,
Because you want to prove yourself.
I was like, I want to go back.
You want to prove yourself.
I was like, I can do it.
I know. I mean, that's it. That's honestly the enjoyment. And if that's not your thing, then it's just not your thing. People going like, you have to like it. Then it's just like, well, I'm never gonna play it.
Right.
Shut up.
Right.
Who cares?
It's
It's
funny-
the same thing with movies or shows or whatever.
Yeah.
That to me is like sports mentality of like, no, I'm going to like lift this weight, or no, I'm gonna.
I mean,
beat
that's what that
Baskin.
game
like,
is.
No, I'm gonna beat Dark Souls. Like I'm
That game
not
is a
going to.
mental struggle. I will tell you. I had to fight myself for a while.
I just don't want to make it too easy for him.
Shadow
The
Joe.
man already has like a lot of good tips. I'll say that. Like, and I try to come across too as like I'm no expert in the game. I'm probably I know the most in the office, but like just knowing like, oh hey, you can't like I'll let Joe run around and kill himself with his own devices. But if it's like I don't know what to do, I'm like, oh go that way. That's a dead end. It's just so much fun to just watch you go. I did so much parenting in the first part, and the second part was very much like, what do you think you should do?
Yeah.
And then
And like you run down and I was going, I think you should go. Did you want to check those stairs out? You don't have to go up there if you want. And Joe just goes, fuck you, you son of a bitch, you tricked me. You tricked me. And I said, look, I just pointed him out. I'm just saying.
Beautiful.
But anyway, we started filming that, so who knows when that's gonna come out. But it's that's my other favorite little duo thing I'm doing right now. I got the randomizers with Matt. Man, maybe it's because I'm the Matt, but I don't feel as bad because I'm not doing anything. Matt like builds these disgusting things and he has secrets. He's like, I know where the secret is. Oh, you're about to get 2 more rupees, fucker. But then he pretends like, oh, I had no idea. He's got the spoiler logs. I just help Joe play the game. And then he goes, why didn't you help me? Why could like he had this firebomb that's effective against an enemy and he managed to kill it without him. And as soon as he killed it, I was like, so those guys, if you see them again, that firebomb, they're weak to that and it'll like stun lock them and you can get a lot of hits in. And he's like, yeah, why didn't you tell me? And I was like, well, because I wanted you to learn.
You must find it.
Now
with
you know for
yourself.
the next one.
Yes, of course. I love it. The two games that Joe's playing. God damn.
Anytime Joe's good. Anytime something starts going wrong, because you can even see he's playing on the controller. And I don't know how you would not play this game on the controller, but you can see it, like all your stuff is on the D-pad, right? Like you can like swap swords or shields or like change your like item button, which is like your potion or whatever. But like even if you touch it, you can see like a flash like on the screen, and you can watch it like it's like Joe's playing DDR, where like you can tell he's pushing 500 buttons, and he's like trying to drink a potion, he's throwing bombs. He's like, no, I don't have the bomb! Ah! He's like rolling off. He rolls everywhere, and I'm constantly just going ledge. There's a ledge.
Like me playing
Get spatial awareness.
I was saying, I like the 2 games that Joe is currently like invested in the most. Technically, are Dark Souls and Maple Story. So like,
I'm obsessed.
night and day.
What's
night
Maple
and day.
Story?
What's these? It's been around forever.
I mean, I've
Joe,
heard of it, but I don't know
please.
dick
Take
about
the
it.
floor. Take
It's
the
been
floor.
out for so long.
Now you
Take the table.
explain. Now
Become my mentor.
Hey, relax a little bit. Yeah,
Let
relax.
me-
So Maple Story is a
Majin
very
Buu.
old running
The representative from
MMORPG.
Colorado has the
It's
floor.
basically a 2D, I guess, not like really a side scroller, but it goes side to side, right? So I guess it is side scroller, but it's not like how it is nowadays, where it's like just going. But it's a game that's gone through a lot of changes, ups and downs. Before, it was very tough, and there wasn't much substance to it. It was just grinding.
So it's just a tough game for no end.
And then now, come back, the game is still being developed. It's still being whatever. It's still doing very well. And I came back, and I'm addicted because the game is completely different.
Maple Leaf?
Maple Story.
Maple syrup.
So I got into Maple Story in like
Maple
late high
Story.
school, early college for me, which was 2007, 8-ish.
Yeah.
And I saw Joe playing and I was like, oh, Maple Story. Like my friends and I loved Maple Story. And I was the little,
I'm laughing at Trevor being like, oh, I
yeah,
can't believe it.
that's great.
Like,
I think
what's a
the
Tamagotchi?
The release date of Maple Story was like, what, 2000?
Early 2000s,
It was a long
yeah.
time ago. I never played it,
Maybe
but like,
earlier than that. I got
that's just
into it in,
early, like
2008,
phone game or whatever.
and I always like end up coming back to it every few years and just like hanging out playing a little bit because I used to play it with one of my friends that unfortunately passed away, and it like that was a big part of my childhood. So like I every time I go back to it, I'm like, this is so nostalgic.
Oh, I love that.
And the second one?
There's
Yeah,
okay, two shit.
But
it's newer.
No. It's absolutely
But it's
trash.
newer.
Shinier.
There's only one story to Joe.
Yeah, there's only one Maple
So
story.
what you're
and that's
saying is
Maple Story 1.
you have a lot of nostalgia with the game, which is fair. I can totally see the art style is reminiscent of the early 2000s.
Yeah, but like it's cool because they've developed it to a point where the game actually has like substance to it. Like it actually has quest lines.
Yeah.
It has daily bosses and daily.
So how does it
missions.
work if it's a side scroller? Is it a lot of like Mario mechanics where you go through doors and like then there's a
And you go through
top-down
portals.
map?
I think
Okay.
what
Portals
I think what
left and
Joe's trying
right.
to say too is while a lot of side scrollers like will push you.
Yeah, it doesn't
narratively
push. It's like you're just in the center.
You
It's
have the
just walking-
freedom
yeah,
to
but
It
it's
goes
travel.
left to right.
Got
and
it.
it is 2D.
Yes.
But I don't know why. It's
Those
just
sprites
fun.
are so
I think
cute.
it's just fun because I haven't been
Can
playing.
we play together? Is it like an MMORPG
Trevor,
where you
yeah.
could just end up in there like WoW, and I can be like, hi.
Yeah, there's
I'm
servers
you,
with
Joe.
different channels, and then you can come to my. Yeah, you can play with me.
So it's like Dischord, the game.
It's
Well,
that's where Discord got the idea. It was Maple Story.
it's funny hearing that too, and I've heard that recently with like Trevor
shouldn't say
isn't
that
like
live.
younger
Come on.
generations, but
What?
What are you talking about?
What'd you say?
What?
Repeat it again live so I can hear what you
The
said.
fuck?
I said that's where Discord got the idea. Now I'm
Oh, yeah?
I'm saying that Discord was not original.
Well, it's funny. Younger
Chat rooms.
generations
You
now
get used to it.
Forums and chat rooms.
Oh,
talk about how Discord. It's like, is it like Discord? Like, yeah, the new thing that exists now that is like that was older. Like I've seen that
That's
recently
like
in discussion.
an older iteration of what currently exists, and I'm like, wow, is that like? Yeah.
I love it. Or like someone recently was talking about Pokemon, and they're like, "Oh man, it'd be really cool if like you could have Pokemon in real life." I'm like, "Are you talking about animals? We're talking animals.
Pets?
Animals. Yeah, I'm like, okay, that's
but-
what you're describing.
Keep them in a ball.
That too.
Right.
And I want to shoot lasers at them.
What is it like in that ball? Is it humane?
I think
Probably.
No.
Oh, good,
They're
good,
like,
good, good, good.
In the manga, you can see through it. It's actually transparent. You can see the Pokemon going like,
They're just chained up. Like
kinda waving.
I became small, and there's
Staring at you. Yeah.
nothing in here.
Yeah, it's pretty fucked up.
Go back to
Why
that
don't they
later.
make anything else small in the world?
Right, like people.
Right.
Houses. Like I'm going home. Down
Yeah.
you go in time, and yeah, exactly. But you could go back and
I
forth.
could be Matt Damon.
They never used the Capsule Corp. Never used their little pill things on people. You know.
Maybe they did.
oh my, we don't talk
went-
about them.
They cover it. Cover up.
You hear a bunch of crunching, and then like,
downsize.
Capsule cover up.
Downsize? If you could downsize, would you downsize?
Don't ask Trevor to
In
downsize
this
you.
economy?
Stop.
Yeah.
I'm gonna downsize you.
I gotta walk out of here.
I was
I can't be here for this.
I don't know if I don't know. I don't know if I would.
You didn't
do
go
that.
anywhere.
It's ridiculous.
I would.
Cost-wise, sure. Because because their money translates to like only a smaller house, like a cap full of vodka,
I would
like
want
a
them to
pool.
downsize everything about me but the one part.
Which part? Which part?
You're gonna be 6 inches tall
Say it.
And finally,
and 6 inches wide,
I'm just saying,
or long.
6 inches wide is
depending
pretty
on
wide. That's like a tuna can.
I mean, depending on if it is a side shot, it would be wide. If it was coming at you, it'd be like 3 inches deep.
1 inch long, 6 inches wide, baby.
This sounds like a horrible mishapped genie wish or something.
It's like that guy from The Boys whose secret power or superpower was just his dick was a snake, and he would slither up people and grab them,
Yeah.
but it was just a penis.
I'm just
it was just a
imagining,
penis.
like, what if, in like a cosmic scenario, you find a genie or something like, I want to grant you a wish. It's like, I would like my dick to be bigger, and they're like, okay, and they make the rest of your body just like horrifically small.
It's like the monkey's paw thing.
Yeah,
You're
yeah.
like, I wish I was better endowed, and
Like-
they go, proportionally you will be,
trying
and
to-
everything else
Yeah.
shrinks down. But you're like 2 feet tall as a person, but you're stacked in the same way.
Trying to run away.
2 inches goes a long way. You know what I mean?
It's true. It's true.
Yeah. Could you imagine if you had 10% of your height?
10%
there?
height, 2% dick.
That'd be crazy.
I live
Wait,
my
what?
life.
10%.
100% nothing. That doesn't add up.
Nothing.
You miss 100% of the dicks that you don't take. Wayne Gretzky, Michael
Oh my
Scott.
God. Lindsey Jones.
Just saying. Christ.
Someone should put that on a plaque.
Michael left, and this went.
I have no
this
idea
went
where
wild.
he went.
I
When
was-
Joe took over, this went.
We went Maple
Sausage.
Story, and I was like, I too was excited to play online with my friends in the early 2000s. It was revolutionary, and now we're at Giant Penis. How?
My Maple Story was
How?
Puzzle Pirates. I think I've talked about that on this podcast, but Puzzle Pirates was just like, again, it was one of those really lo-fi 2D games where you're running around on an island, you can jump on a ship and shit, and to bilge it would like to get water out of a ship. If you were fighting somebody else's ship, you would like just do match games, but you couldn't. You'd have to like swap tiles around. I was really good at that. And then like you could play poker, which that was fun. Like you'd earn coins, and so you could play with your in-game currency. I just didn't like to gamble. I just liked to play.
Sounds like the Club Penguin era, basically.
Yes, exactly that. So there's like a lot of little puzzles throughout the game that are all kind of fun. Like carpentry to like fix the ship. It's all like Sea of Thieves, but puzzles instead of actually doing the thing, because it's like, again, early 2000s. And I don't know
much
why.
Of like, we have
just,
to educate our kids as they're playing video games. We have to.
Yeah,
do
kind
this.
of. Yeah. But also like, I don't know why I was so into it. Probably because that was like the height of Pirates of the Caribbean, and I was just like super, like that was just a really cool vibe of that era, was like Caribbean island pirates on a ship just doing it. But yeah, it was really fun. It was one of those games that was well built enough that most people wouldn't break it or cheat or whatever. You couldn't cheat, but there were like backdoor mechanics using HTML that you could like find links and change things out in the link, that like they had trophies that would go to your account based on how well you did stuff, and how like if you built up accolades, you would get these trophies. And I managed to find one that was like a free trophy, but it was for, I feel like, Norway specifically. For some reason, like they sent out an email to a bunch of players, and if you click this link, you'd get a free trophy. That was the only way to get it, but it was live and active, and I managed to finagle my way over to the URL that gifted it. And so then I started running around all the servers, going, "What's this?" and showing them this trophy, and they'd be like, to the most veteran players I could find, and then they'd be like, "My God, what is this?" and so then I rolled that onto a new character. That had nothing else except that award. I would run around and just show people that, and then just teasing people with not telling them how to get it. Of course, I would eventually like spill the beans, because I think it was going to expire. This reward would have become inactive after a few weeks. But it was just like, I'd just run around and tease people with this thing. "Ooh, what is this?" And then people like, I'd be like, "Come with me, come with me." And like, I think you could have a house that you could decorate. People had these huge like mansions and shit. I'm a new character. I have squabble, like my house is.
It's a shit shack.
Yes, there's nothing in it. So it's like this house up on a hill, take them way out of the way, RuneScape style. And I pull them into the house, and I'm like, "All right." And then I would log out.
So damn you.
Just like,
damn you.
That rules.
Super
Damn you.
trolling.
That fucking rules.
Just shit like that. But then
you that,
eventually
though.
I was like, I can't like just be a pure ass. So eventually I'm like,
for a while though.
Yo, just long enough. But then eventually, like, before people actually figure it out or whatever, I'm like, no, but seriously, like, it's just an emailed reward, because people figured out how it was procured, because it wasn't in any of like the archives, like any of the websites, wikis that you could look up with all the trophies. And so I was like, let's see if I can get that in there, named after me, a fucking troll. But no, then they figured out, no, it was like this Norwegian trophy just for the players up there for whatever reason. And I was like, yeah, fine. Like, this is how you get it. And they're like, oh, okay, cool. And then now everyone's got the ship in a bottle.
Bullshit.
I used to use GameFAQs a lot, both the message boards and like just guides and stuff.
Yeah.
And when I was younger, like pre-teen, like teenager, I would just like, once I finished a game I was playing, especially like an RPG, something like long, like story-driven, I'd go to GameFAQs and I would just create a topic that just has spoilers in the title. I would just be like, this guy dies and that's the bad guy. And then the post would be like, did you read it?
Yeah. I remember one of the first stuff.
It was the worst.
So Trevor was going for like a shotgun
Like 12.
effect. Michael was just a full punch to the face.
Yeah.
Oh,
Look,
hang on.
Here's how you avoid it. Beat it before me.
Hang on.
Beat it before me. I'm a little baby going to school.
I was much more sophisticated.
Play more
about
when
my
I'm
trolling.
Right, yeah.
when I'm not learning nothing.
There's hunting involved in the gathering.
Yeah.
Oh, I got more sophisticated, but that was an easy one. We just go, hey, watch this. That guy's dead.
Well, it's
It was the Snape kills Dumbledore of your age.
I mean,
Right.
kind of.
Yeah.
maybe not that energy, but that
Put it
energy
out there.
reminds me of like playing video games with like my friends, and usually it was their older sibling who would just like bullshit you and be like, oh yeah, if you go back to this cave over here, you get like 50 billion rupees. I'm like, oh my God, are you fucking serious?
Pre-internet, you couldn't know.
Yeah. They're
Right.
like, Jessica, your brother said that would happen. She's like, "Oh, he lied to us. Like, it was all
You're
worthless.
straight up describing school,
It's true.
right?
Yeah.
Like, I was teen in the year 2000. I didn't get internet like at my house until 2004. Like I was basically out of high school.
Kind of when dial-up was winding out.
I got dial-up for a little bit, sorry, and then I got high speed. But like, especially 90s. I didn't have a fucking computer with dial-up until like 2000, 2001, right? And then, so you're talking 13, 14 years old. Like 14, I'm in 8th grade. So like 6th grade, someone's like, hey, in Pokemon, you know, the whole like push the truck to get the Mew. There's no way to verify this. You just go, are you serious?
But then you
and then you just go do it.
Then as an adult, when you actually play it, you see that there was a truck there, and you're like, how the hell did these 10-year-old kids figure out how to do that?
What's funny is, as an adult, you go, oh, that's not a real thing. But what is a real thing? Game coding, and because computers, it's like you walk up, down 15 times, Abra shows up, you throw a thing, and then you can get every part, and that's real. But like people didn't dissect the games. They'd be like, did you go in the game? It's like, I broke it. I opened it.
Well, it's crazy because it's not even that. It's just there's a tree, you cut, you fast travel by flying, you go to this bridge, you go
Cerulean Bridge.
Yep, you fight
go
the last
left,
guy.
You fight the last guy,
The guy with
and
the
then you
slow
go
poke.
past him, and then you gotta go into the grass, and it's something.
And then you go where Mewtwo is supposed to be. Then you catch a wild.
But there's a way that you can determine based on one parameter. There's like one number you interject, and that summons the specific Pokemon. And when they re-released,
based on the last character you fought. In this case is Slowpoke.
They re-released,
I think,
Red and Blue on 3DS like 5 years ago now, 6 years ago. But they re-released it then, and I did that then. And that's the original, like the game. It's just the original black and white game. But I'm just like, internet. And it's like, you can fucking get Mew like in my game without like downloading anything. It's like, nope, it's just code manipulation. You just go, suck this tree, punch that guy, I got a Mew.
It's like everything everywhere all at once.
It really is.
You know,
it really is.
Like, which multiverse do you want to get into?
Bite this chapstick.
That's what it is. Between all of your fingers. Because you can't.
Dude, and I'll say too, he did that for nothing.
Oh, right.
He paper cutted all his fingers and then got knocked out of the fight. And that's all I could think about. Is like, I gave myself paper cuts for no reason.
This is very specific.
Okay, go ahead.
Roll with me here, though. It's going to connect. What is the name of the island or the island level in Banjo Kazooie with the hippo? Blubber?
Clipsnoo.
Yes.
What?
But
Are you talking about Treasure Trove Cove?
yeah, Treasure Trove Cove.
Okay.
So great example. Thinking about this because it jogged my memory. playing that on the N64.
I can tell by this that was the
animation for sure.
Yeah, he's. He
That was very N64.
Playing N64. Oh, you're good. Playing N64 with my friend. It was one of those like play dates with our friends, and my parents were like, "I'll be back in a few hours. I don't care what you're doing, whatever." I'm like, "I'm gonna go play Banjo Kazooie."
We're drinking profusely. Anyway.
More than likely, yep. Hey, you know what? Get that bank, Mom. You're a dentist. You do what you need to do. I don't care. But as we're playing, my friend was like, hey, if you go over to this little island, which was like in the ocean, there's this teeny tiny little bit of land that you can stand on, and there's a sign on it.
I don't know if you can stand on it, but yeah,
It's
there's a peak of an island sticking out.
Is it an Easter egg, kind of?
I don't maybe for back in the day of like I made this as the designer, and like. Yeah.
Well, I mean, I'll tell you what it is, but finish your story.
Sure. So they convinced me, they're like, if you go to that island, it's called 1,000 Island, and when you get there, you'll get 1,000 of this. And I didn't know it was a fucking dressing because I'm a ranch kid.
That's
so yeah.
That's
so I was like,
funny.
1,000 Island sounds amazing. I'm like,
1,000 what?
right. 1,000. Bullshit is what it was.
What's funny is Banjo Kazooie.
Dylan laughed at me that day.
So what's funny is that what you're pointing out actually was like an Easter egg thing. Banjo Kazooie, it's like famous where like they wanted to do this thing called Stop and Swap because I guess they planned on making a sequel even before they made the first one, and so there's like a couple places in the game, and that's one of them. And when you beat the game, I can't remember if you have to like collect a certain amount of things or not, but like one of the characters comes over and he goes, look at these pictures, and like that island is up out of the water, and it's like a little video of like someone playing, and you're like, what the fuck? And there's like he goes inside the island, and it's like he's jumping up and going up this spiral, and there's like a key at the top, or there's an egg at the top. And so there's all these like colored eggs, and then there's an ice key that's in like a level, and you can just see it through a wall, but you can't get it. And you can't access any of that shit like without like digging into the code of the game. But they wanted to do this thing called Stop and Swap where you would like do something either in the first game or the second game, like get to like a rest point, pull the fucking cartridge out, like N64, put the other one in, and it would like unlock it. So it was like a future thing. What's not cool is they didn't do it.
Right.
Right.
So it ended up being
figure it out.
It ended up being it's like the Mew thing, but it's not made up. But it's like they put all the shit in the game and they were like, we didn't fucking do it.
Thousand Island was
and so like you straight up that island is there, you can see it, and then if you beat the game, you can see it come out of the water, but without using Game Genie or whatever, like there's no way to do it. They kind of doubled back to it a little bit when they added the games to Xbox 360, like arcade. They like when we put it back in, but it's more of just like a history thing at that point. Like, stop and so there's a way to get the ice key. No, you can't get the ice key. It's just the thing it's like, here's what we'll do. Let's make it all, put it all in the game, and then maybe we'll figure it out later. Fuck, we didn't figure it out.
When they were trying to be really experimental about they had such limitations and like the cleverness that they came up with shit like that. That's cool.
Yeah, that's classic Nintendo.
Did y'all have a Game Shark, by the way?
Oh, absolutely.
Fuck no, wow.
I didn't own one. I did not own one. My friend Katie had one.
I'm sorry, I had a Nintendo NES
My mom
like
wouldn't
code and hint book.
Oh yeah. Out of principle or a monetary issue?
No, monetary.
I had a book that was like, if you name your character Zelda in Zelda, you go right to game 2.
Do you guys ever get those big books for like game guides?
Yeah.
From like
I
5?
Nintendo
Informer?
Power.
I know you're going
Game
like this, like it's a tome.
Informer,
A strategy guide? Yeah,
Yes.
a strategy guide? Yeah. It's
Oh,
not
is
an
it
ancient.
thin or is it a box?
No, it's a
book.
fucking book, is
It's
what
a
he's
book.
describing. It's just a rectangular book.
just-
You were
but he's,
making it look like
he's
it's like a
describing it like an
huge-
Egyptian artifact.
Yeah.
Like,
Book.
you ever find the rare
ancient texts.
books that every game came with at GameStop, and they say you want to buy if you buy the guide with the game, it's 10% off the guide or something like that. And I would say absolutely.
Tells you all the secrets.
Well, here's the thing. Here's what I would buy them for. I would only buy them depending on the fatness of them because it's like the shit of the. I would always buy them for RPGs. I didn't like hand holding where it's like, what do I do next? But Final Fantasy, whatever. It's like, all right,
Fantasy 10.
where's the
But-
fucking side quest?
You need that for sure.
Boom, 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 boom.
Yeah.
Well, I liked in the back of the Pokemon ones, they had a little
had
Pokemon
so
actual
many
like
guides.
checklist. So I'd be like, I have this Pokemon.
Yeah, but
and
actually,
this
in one of them they had stickers.
They do.
remember.
Yeah, they have stickers.
Fuck, we're late.
We're late. Dude, I didn't have
we're
Game
all
Shark.
caught up.
I had Action Replay. And that takes me back to the time when TVs were fucking heavy. They had tubes in them and they had glass fronts. I'd lug that thing over, throw that on the ground, grab my PS2, slam that down on the ground, and then take my 5-foot Ethernet cable, stretch it all the way so it's barely tink. And then I would try to update my Action Replay, not knowing what the hell I was doing.
You got this.
But hey.
If you can figure out LimeWire,
The most sophisticated I got, this was dabbling into the internet. I don't know if I still had high speed or not yet. I don't think I did because it was Final Fantasy X.
None of us did.
Which was PS2.
Yesterday.
I bought it was like a piece for my PlayStation where I could play like region-locked games because, especially like a huge Final Fantasy RPG fan, they always fucking came out with like an anniversary edition that never came to North
always
America.
in Japan.
It was
There was
just
also
like
delayed releases too, like Pokemon.
yeah.
Green
That got better. Well, I mean, green was it green and blue or green and
Like
red?
there was a
Green
green,
and red.
version, and everyone's
Green.
like,
It was
there's
green
red,
and red,
blue, and
yeah.
green.
Right, but it
Only
wasn't.
Japan.
But it
has
wasn't.
yellow.
It was just no. Green was just like instead of one of the other
Yeah,
colors.
it was-
It's like instead of red and blue, it was like blue and green or red and green.
Something like that,
And
okay.
people were like, "There's a third." It's like, now we just said we're in North America. We're changing it for no reason.
It's like the Lost Levels.
But anyway, I bought a fucking little thing. It was so sophisticated for me at the time where I had to like take apart my PlayStation, which is like all I have in this world, and put it in so I could play Final Fantasy X International. But I don't. Some you'd be able to switch the language to English, but like some you wouldn't. And so it'd be like you'd have to learn like, okay, two down is attack. But it's like there's so much extra content because this was obviously
You
before
didn't start
DLC.
reading the kanji? Like you didn't start associating
No,
like
I
that
didn't.
symbol
Oh, that's-
indicates
yeah.
attack?
I mean,
Linguistic style.
not in 2
Yeah.
games. No.
Oh, well, sure, yeah. If it was only like blips.
No, it was short-lived because then thankfully the internet rolled up and they were like, here, everything. You don't have to buy this fucking thing from a place that shipped from Japan that took 4 weeks to get to
Someone
your
just
house.
said in chat, they're like, the internet has ruined like buying physical guides. I'm like, okay, yes and no. I would argue now, like if we buy guides, I like the idea of like it's like an RPG. release, and especially like a lot of releases
so
now for
it's, in a
guides.
way,
are, like,
they've ruined them. Yes.
Sure, but
Lindsay is saying what they say.
hang
Archaic.
on, they give you exclusive media that is not found online for that reason. You're like, oh,
I'm just saying. Though, I'm just saying.
It's not fungible.
It's different. It's different. But I get. Look, here's the thing. I get what they're saying of like you ruined it. Like it is gone, and I'm nostalgic for that. It was a time.
Yeah.
But I'm fine moving on from the time.
It's okay.
We're always coming. We didn't have cars at some point. Thank God I wasn't there. But it's like someone's like, man, it's like. What about the horses, man? What about the horses?
think of the wagons.
You gotta move on. I would like, my mom would take me to the mall and I'd get the game, and then a lot of times, like, she'd fuck around. I'm like, all right, I'm gonna go wait at the car. And I would just be sitting at the car, like, rubbing the game on my face that I can't play, and it's like, I better read the guide. It's like playing the game. And I'm just like, I'm just like reading the strategy.
smell,
I'm reading
the looks.
the fucking guide for Kingdom Hearts 2, and I'm like, what's Roxas? Who's this guy?
That's crazy.
Anyway,
Another guy?
that's off topic.
Beep, 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 beep.
Joe got
beep.
slammed by some oldies.
It's true.
I got slammed.
Yeah, we're old. He's baby.
Yeah, well,
Joe's baby.
I can baby with you over
I turned-
Genshin. Let's
I
play some
turned
Genshin. Let's go.
Damn.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed that. It was fun. Thanks for being here, everyone. And coming up next, I spoke with Jaren Bro, and I said, what's next for the post stream? Because if you saw last week, which was an excellent off topic, I couldn't recommend it more if you haven't.
Way better than this one.
I had the entire, way better than this one. I had the entire post team on to squash some beefs. I don't know how much beef was squashed, but new beef was definitely made.
Like the
Definitely
great
Bush.
lady. Yeah.
But post team streams after Off Topic Live, which it should have been 6 minutes ago. That's on them for some reason. I said, Jaren, what's the post stream?
good.
And he said, this is a quote from Jaren, bro. He said, Nemesis, Distress, like that one board game, but also like Alien Isolation.
Like that one board game, but also like that other video game.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so I read that and I went, I don't even know if it's a video game or a board game. I think it's a video game.
Enticed.
But
around.
stick around and find out literally right now, this very second. Say hi to Jaren, bro. And maybe just like if you're in the chat, maybe ask for an update on their beefs. You know, we'll see you next week.
Yeah. Is it
Well,
done?
you'll
Is
see
the
us.
beef
We
done?
won't see you.
Yeah.
Is it cooked?
We're gonna have to do a rebeef.
A rebeefing.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Damn,
Back
dude.
on the grill.
Beef 2.
How you
What?
doing? I just asked how are you doing.
I'm fine. I'm great.
We'll discuss it on the post show.
I'm great.
I won't.
What are you doing with your lips?